right.
Even outside, it's packed.
Okay. Come on now. People, everybody, on the show. All right. Let's start the show. All right. I'm getting there. Oh, I don't have to push anything else. Okay, lights are on. Sound is up.
I think people saw that loud and clear.
They certainly did. Okay, let's give it a shot. Hey, it's working. Look at that. Welcome to the show. How are you? Happy Monday. If that's even a thing, that might be an oxymoron. I apologize if it is. I'm a big fan of Mondays over the course of my life. By the way, like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. All that. Just assume I did all the streamer business, okay? Just pretend. But I will say that one of the good things about Mondays for me, traditionally, was that as a comic, I worked mostly weekends. Thursday through Sunday was my work week, really. And that meant Monday was like my first day off, right? It was sort of like my weekend, and ultimately my schedule shifted all around because of you lovely folks. And so now I never stop working. Not ever, never, not ever. Also, I'll tell you what does stop working. One of my earbuds, I don't know why this is, this little fellow won't charge. He just is not gonna put him back in the little cradle. And I see the little red light come on. And he's just being a dumbass and sleep. All right. But I never stop working. I'm just always working. Just that's how it is. Sexy Liberal was great on Saturday night. Thanks to everybody who came out. It was super fun. The next one that we have scheduled is in Seattle, although there may be other dates coming up. And we have a bunch that we can't announce yet. There's one in August that's officially on sale, but everything else is just like in a holding pattern because apparently we're this close to signing some sort of contract that will book us at a bunch of places. And for fuck's sake. Anyways, so lots going on. It's always that way. But I'm used to my schedule being something, kind of wonky like that. That said, yes, I would love to do something in Kentucky. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna drag Steph to some red states for fuck's sake. I mean, Toronto. We'll come there on the flip flop after we've reelected Joe Biden and we've dodged this particular ridiculousness. Then we'll come visit our Canadian friends. Until then, we got a job to do down here, and so I want to. Yeah, Nashville would be fucking great. Austin, I think, is on the radar. By the way, Nerd Halen is coming back. I think it's official that we're coming back to Dallas the first week of March, March 7th, 9th, something like that. Anyways, yeah. And then, what else? Oh, yes. King's Fest is coming up in February with Nerd Halen. And tomorrow night, I will be, Denver would be fucking fantastic. I would love to come to Denver. I've been to Denver multiple times. I like Comedy Works there. I think we could fucking pack the place and it'd be great. I think that's a great venue for it. I mean, I like a bigger stage. That's just me. It's a little hard to do my big physical humor on the Comedy Works stage, which is a little like coaster. It looks like a coaster in a spa, or like it looks like the stage where like a flamenco guitar player would just kind of sit. And oh, by the way, I'm not even showing the chat, and that's just a dick move because people don't even know what I'm talking about. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like when you go to if you go to a really fancy spa or something. I've never been to one that actually has one of these, but I understand they exist. And they have like a flamenco guitar player just playing the music live in the corner instead of a recording. That's what the stage at Comedy Works looks like. It's like it's a wedge. It's a corner, right? I love it. It's a great club. I love it as a stand-up, but if you're a physical comic, never fucking happen. Because it's just not the kind of place. So what are you gonna do? That said, and also I just noticed something. By the way, we're live streaming. I screwed up earlier when we weren't on Instagram, but we are now, by God. So if you're watching on Instagram, hit the like and all that kind of stuff. And also if you Instagram and you YouTube, hit the. Oh, my girlfriend's bringing me a coffee. Look at that. Huh? Thanks, babe. Mwah. That's lovely. That's the good stuff. All right. Hot. It's very chilly. So, thank you very much. Hi. Sorry. Look. Family first. Relationships are important. I'm just saying. Don't judge me. So, I'm going to set that coffee there because it's warm. It's toasty. Yes. And anyways, so where was I? Oh yes, Mondays. So I kind of look forward to some Mondays. And I got to say, I think maybe I know Steph's got a crazy schedule. Steph has a crazy morning radio schedule, and I don't think you guys understand how just ever so fucked up morning radio is, because you do. I've been. Some people ask me when I do my Saturday show. They've asked me if I've ever thought about doing radio full time, on the station on WCPT, and then maybe doing it. And I always turned it down because I'm best in the morning slot. What are you doing? Truthfully, though, that's like the where everybody wants to put me in their morning slot. Just let that simmer for a second. And sorry. And the problem with that is you get up it's like doing morning television too. It's like fucking your life is so wonky because you're up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. You're on it like from 6 to 9. You're doing like East Coast time sometimes. Like you'll do like morning slot will be like you'll literally do the East Coast spot and then they'll re-air your show on the West Coast a lot of times. And it's like, unless you're going to move there, like I'd have to move to New York to do that. And it's bad enough that I had to move just this distance. That distance would fucking break my heart. So it's not going to happen anytime soon. But yeah, just Talk Soup was on at noon, but I would get there at 7 o'clock in the morning and work until, noon. And then we'd have meetings afterwards. And then the writing would start, the writers would work on stuff or gather clips the rest of the afternoon for the day, for the next shit. So I would go home I was there like most days I was like 7 to 5, way longer than anybody else. There you go. So, not important, but like, I'm telling you, morning radio, people who do like, drive time morning radio, that's their whole fucking life. They're in bed by 6 p.m., at the latest. And then, so there goes your social life, there goes weekends. And then touring on the weekends got to be a pain in the ass. So kudos to Steph for throwing her entire sleep schedule into a fucking chipper shredder for the sake of us. Right. And I've gone from soup to nuts. Well, you could argue that. You want to see nuts? Hold on one second. Let me see. Oh, that's good. I can taste the added shot of espresso. So I do not believe in wasting the time-space continuum. No, that would be rude. All right. There's so much to cover. And Trump is supposed to give he's rallying the shit out of New Hampshire because he's just burning it down because this motherfucker knows the numbers are terrible. The internal numbers for Trump are fucking awful. Don't believe the hype. Like this idiotic idea that they have that somehow he's beating Joe Biden, or that he's even beating like nationwide, that he's beating all these other votes. No. Because he's essentially going to lose at least a quarter, if not a third, of Republican voters, period. They're not voting for him this time. Whatever, and the faux-aggressive assholes who are like, I don't know, I don't think I'm gonna vote for Biden because Genocide Joe and blah blah. Those motherfuckers who, again, curiously enough, don't really see them in the streets marching with a Sudanese flag wrapped around their head. Don't see them out in the only see them only out there when there's a Jew on one side of a rifle. Although today's rally doesn't start till 6, and that means he's probably going to be late again. All right, well, we might jump into the earlier one than the Rochester one, because fucking hell, that was a mess. But and I wouldn't even call them rallies. They're like little gatherings. Now, you know how we occasionally, you and I, in our moments that are the intimate moments that we have shared, dodging all the cuckoo birdness and dealing with it as it in the Pez dispenser of lunacy that is the current political atmosphere. We sometimes will center in on like how fucking weird Donald Trump looks with his big bulging nunt and his weird crevicey face and all that shit, and just refusing to, just aging disgracefully. You know how we kind of deal with that, you know how we just kind of and where I've had to actually like warn people, his herp fingers, his Sif fingers and all that shit. Oh yeah. Well, he's not alone. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tom Fitton. Now, Tom Fitton is not a lawyer. He's the president of Judicial Watch. But I guess you don't actually have to be a lawyer to stalk justices, I guess. Is that the idea? He's just watching the Judicial. He's not a part of it. He doesn't understand it. He's not actually, yeah. So, and I swear to God, all Lindsey Graham references aside, this motherfucker wears a lot of blush. Or he's got rosacea that's so bad that he tries to cover with base, like that it just bleeds through. It's super fucking weird. And every time I see him, all I can think is that old, like, I forget what movie it was in. It was like, whores use blush, ladies pinch. I think it was whores use rouge, ladies pinch. And the woman just started pinching her cheeks, whatever, right? That's what he looks like to me. He's like I always picture him saying that in a mirror right before he goes to an interview, because what the fuck? Right. Yes, rosacea does suck. And if that's what it is, and he's just covering it up, and just, dude, deal with it. It's okay. Nobody cares. But there's something really odd. Okay. So I don't know, and you'll have to help me answer this. I don't know. Like, subscribe, give a like the show, like it right now, because we're gonna like it into popularity. We're gonna will it into being. All right. Now, stupid. This I don't know which part of this, the title of this video, and again, I don't pre-watch these things because why would I torture myself like that? I don't know which is funnier. I don't know which part I enjoy more. One is, let me shrink this down. Get out of here. President Trump facing 730 plus years in prison. Don't threaten me with a good time. Meanwhile, Tom Fitton joins the Gorka reality check on America First with Sebastian Gorka. So the show is called America First with Sebastian, but Gorka really calls it the Gorka reality check? Fuck off. Reality check. Better check yourself. All right, here we go. I don't know what this is. Relatively short, I hope.
Who's your favorite fiction author? I don't have much time or patience for fiction.
Who's your favorite fiction author? I don't have much time or patience for fiction. Yeah, like fuck the genre of imagination. No, what?
I like to live in the real world, but
You're a supporter of Donald Trump. The real world, you think he's still blonde or whatever crusty orange that color that is?
sometimes I'll dip into the likes of a Tom Clancy.
Dip into the likes of a Tom Clancy. Do tell. Do you at least give Tom a warning first?
Drop your shorts and bend over, Mr. Babar.
Is that what you do? You dip into the likes?
Moon River.
What if you read a novel by the likes of Tom Clancy or...
I have. I don't have to what if it. I don't dip into authors. I read novels.
Jack Carr, and it's
The only authors he's even aware of because branding.
said, in America, the leader of the opposition, a former president, is facing more than 7 centuries in prison. We've got the tabulation, we've got the graphic. This is actually happening right now. From Georgia to Jack Smith in D.C.,
I'll tell you what would happen. If I opened the book and it started there and it wasn't like, well, the next 3 chapters are probably going to tell me what the fuck he did to be facing those kind of numbers. Wouldn't I? That would be sort of a crucial plot point, unless he's going to leave that out. But I think Clancy's too good an author for that. I think, quite frankly, if you open up a Clancy novel and it said, literally on the first page, the president was facing 717.5 years in prison, at some point, just to fill pages, you'd find out why.
Trump is facing more than 700 years in prison. If you read that in a fiction novel and you say, oh, come on, Jack. Oh, come on, Tom.
No, I wouldn't. If I finished the book and I didn't know why, if he'd have just blown it off, I'd be like, did somebody staple the first chapter of this book onto another book? What happened?
That's unbelievable. That would never happen. But it is happening.
Yeah, it is. It is happening. You want to tell everybody why? Like because it's not just the Jan 6 hush money case in New York. Okay, that's a little classified docs case in Florida. That's kind of important. The election interference case in Georgia. Yeah, sure. And then the Jan 6 case in Washington. Those are, there's your why.
How is that possible?
Well, there's a hush money case in New York. There's the classified documents case in Florida. There's the Jan 6 case in Washington, D.C. And there's the election interference case in Georgia. There's 91 counts. That's how it's possible. You know how it becomes possible? Is you take all these things and you add them up, which someone has done for you, apparently.
Well, let's ask a man who has fought corruption in this stinking city, this swamp that is Washington, D.C.
Where? At Sephora?
For decades.
Where has he fought corruption? How has he fought? You mean he's tweeted areas where he thinks there's fucking corruption and there ain't?
Fearless head of one of the most important organizations fighting for the truth.
Well, it's actually easy to be a fearless head of an organization when your organization isn't actually engaged in anything meaningful.
Organization is Judicial Watch.
It's like fearless masturbator Tom Fitton. I mean, that's basically it. Never afraid to be criticized as a lover. Fearless masturbator Tom Fitton.
And he is Tom Fitton. Happy New Year, Tom Fitton. Welcome to the Gorka Reality Check.
Hey, Seb, I appreciate that generous introduction.
The other thing, Gorka, I'd appreciate if you could send over some of that base and rouge.
Well, it's totally deserved. So you've been doing this for many, many years now.
And by the way, you've been doing this for a long time and had zero impact on the real world. How's that? What does that feel like? It's because it's interesting because it's something I will never be able to understand. I'm so curious what it feels like to do something every day, all the time, and have it absolutely have zero fucking impact on you. Oh, thanks for the super chat, $7.17. That's a great super chat. One for every year Trump is gonna spend in jail. There you go. Yeah, I most of us will never know what it feels like to be Tom Fitton.
Judicial Watch needs to be supported by all of our Newsmax listeners and viewers.
Supported doing what? I mean, how much does it cost to tweet? I'm serious. How much does it cost? What's the business model of this motherfucker half-ass reading a bunch of articles on I don't know, legal papers that come out, whether they're indictments that have come down and the paperwork around those, the affidavits that are with them, Trump's legal responses, how much does it cost Tom Fitton in time during his day and work effort to thumb through those things just enough to get them completely fucking wrong?
Can you tell me something? Did you ever think, after what you've been doing for decades,
that it would not only not help, but possibly have made it worse?
That we would be where we are today with political prisoners after...
We don't have political prisoners.
January 6th, 250,000 illegal surveillance wires against innocent Americans.
Yeah, no, they weren't. 250,000 illegal surveillance wires. He's asshole. If you got two devices on you while you're storming the Capitol and you're live tweeting at Facebook, or you're live streaming to Facebook and you're tweeting at the same time, that's they're going to have 4 warrants specifically for each part of where your incriminating evidence is, and their legal reason for doing it is you breached the fucking Capitol grounds over the bodies and bones of police officers. Shut the fuck up.
And the leader of the opposition facing 700 plus years in prison. Did you expect this?
Do you expect him to live 7 more years? I think is the other thing.
No, I knew we were sliding in that direction. Remember, you had the IRS being used to suppress Obama's political opposition in the run-up to his re-election. That's one way to steal an election in plain sight, in my view.
Sure, go with that. Yeah, that's a winner. Yeah, asked and answered. to use a judicial term.
And then it metastasized during 2016. They thought they could misuse the agencies again to
they didn't
try to rig another election. It didn't work out the way they wanted it.
Here's the thing. They didn't actually do that. They did not. He won because of fuck-arounds and lame-os in 3 separate states, and 75,000 votes gave him 3 electoral college wins in 3 states. That was it. He lost the fucking 3 million votes. He lost the popular vote by 3 million votes. It is not surprising that after his 4 years in office, that Biden got double that, because people were like, holy shit, fuck this guy. I didn't take it seriously. And I got news for you. In this cycle, women, younger women voters especially, who might have been tap dancing around this shit, are gonna bring their vote. And the men who love them, by the way, I might add.
So they're
going to bring their votes.
Began a seditious effort against Trump. So I guess when you follow sedition with mass prosecutions of your political enemies,
well, you followed the sedition he attempted.
In the next administration, I guess it shouldn't be too much of a surprise. But when you talk about hundreds of years in jail for a political opponent of an administration,
yeah, that's not their fault. That is. Oh, I don't know why he's singing. Oh, I don't know anything about you. So yeah.
Moon River.
Right. Sorry. Yeah. The Biden had nothing to do with how many years this fucker is facing. That's Trump's fault. That's the severity of the cases against him. This isn't petty bullshit he can pay a fine on anymore.
Or in the case of Fulton County, Georgia, you have this terrible corruption at the meta level, right? Targeting Trump.
No, it's not terrible. I don't give a shit if they knock boots, and I don't even care if Georgia decides she was spending money taking her boyfriend to the beach in the middle of all this shit because the stress of going after, using a case against the first fucking ex-president in our nation's history was getting to her. She needs a goddamn vacation in the middle of it. And also, what's she going to do? Find more evidence? The motherfucker recorded the phone call himself. He's there. It's him. There's no question. It's just a matter of getting the evidence in front of a jury. It's not whether the jury will hear something that's true or not true. Reasonable doubt is out the fucking window.
But also this base personal corruption. You've got the combination of like Russian absurdists who covered the Soviet oppression of dissidents with Tom Wolfe's Bonfire of the Vanities.
Okay, so I get it. So you pre-tape these things, and then you're just using both of those graphics to sell us. You're showing us physical renditions of his analogies,
yeah,
which suck.
And
also, what's with the creepy fucking serial killer breakfast picture behind you? Who the fuck stares at a picture like that? Are you in a hotel at the omelet bar? Is this what Mar-a-Lago calls art? If it is, they owe Hunter Biden an apology.
Decay of corruption in our big cities, all coming to a head to try to destroy our republic.
Well, let's
talk.
What the fuck are you talking about? Like, look, crime rates were up, but they're like 90s issues, but 90s level. But nobody was saying during the 90s when a lot of this shit was popping off that they were they were putting George H.W. Bush in office to destroy America while that was fuck off.
Talk about that.
We could make
Tom,
light
let's
of it,
talk
but
about,
they're
you
dangerous
mentioned
times,
Fannie
so.
Willis.
That's good. With the over talking I like though. You guys should do more of that.
Yeah, let's talk about Fannie Willis and also
Fani.
Letitia James. Fannie Willis's boyfriend, who she gave $700,000 to from taxpayer money
Well, no, she didn't give it to him. She paid him that for work that he did.
from Georgia. He visits the White House on numerous occasions as her newly anointed chief Trump prosecutor.
And
Then we have not just that headline,
because they've got to let them know in person what they're going to do and give them a heads up.
about him, about Fannie Willis's, hitman, lover boy. But we have
Hitman lover boy.
Letitia James from the state of New York doing what? Visiting the White House.
Yeah, she's the attorney general for the state of New York. Are you nuts? They all visit. All the attorney generals, and multiple times, with the exception of Ken Paxton, maybe.
And being listed on the visitor logs.
Yes. What a shock. What an amazing conspiracy. By the way, can we see the Trump visitor logs? How about that? How about that, dumb fuck? I'll give you that you can just make up whatever the fuck you want about what was said in the room on her public visit to the White House when you talked to Trump because you were in the administration, and I'm sure you could find a copy of them somewhere. They're probably, I mean, you've got the combination to the lock on the shitter at Mar-a-Lago, clearly. Walk in there and get a copy of the visitor logs. And while you're at it, I want to see the flight logs for his airplane. And if not, and along with that, every fucking plane that has landed or taken off from Little St. James since fucking 1986.
Tom Fitton, what is an Atlanta prosecutor and a state of New York law enforcement official doing visiting the Biden White House?
If I may. One second. See everything's everything's about the mayors right now. Well, I'll give you this example. Here you go. This is from the Hill. I already showed you guys part of this, but if I may, no, let's go to here. This is the watch live. Biden welcomes bipartisan group of mayors to the White House. This is a good example. Why is he meeting with Democrat mayors? Because he's meeting with Republican mayors too. Why is he meeting with AGs? Because he meets with the AGs from every state, especially the big ones that are national security issues. Like New York. Just throwing that out there. Okay.
Explain that to me.
Well, those are the sorts of questions American citizens should be asking.
Gorka's not an American citizen, I guess. Then fuck him.
I think there's no good answer to them.
Sure, there is. He meets with. I mean, first of all, the AG meeting with the AG from New York State. Anytime after 2001 9/11 might be a good idea. Whoever the fuck it is. I would be more concerned if you didn't meet with him. Secondly, meeting with Fani Willis's team because they are prosecuting the former president and giving them a heads up is very smart. It doesn't, and like, it could even be that the Biden administration was like, could you guys just wait on this shit until after we win the election and stuff? Like, nope, we're gonna go after him. Okay, well, good luck. And they're gonna need access to materials, and only the president and the vice president technically can give it to them.
And maybe there is a good answer in the sense.
I think I think all of mine were really good.
It was some sort of broad public event, and they were just one of hundreds of people there. But the other information suggests that there were more detailed meetings, and
the other information, what would that be? You just saying it? Him just saying it? Motherfucker! Like, seriously, I can with a push of the button, I could show our chat room on this. This is not that hard. I could show the chat. See a little button right there. They just showed the cover of Tom Wolfe's Bonfire of the fucking Vanities, but this dickhead is like, other information points to, why don't you put that up on screen, asshole? Let me see it. I like information. You guys don't you like information? It's fun. Information's interesting.
Question is, in addition to what was going on with the White House, what was going on with the January 6th committee?
Yeah, I don't know. They were handing you your ass.
That Grump committee under Nancy Pelosi.
Grumpy. Don't make a grumps.
Pelosi and the Biden Justice Department. There's a cabal. It's
a cabal. Shut the fuck up. Cabal. Why don't you just call them a coven at this point? A cabal. Gargle my cabal. What are you talking about?
It's a national Democratic Party conspiracy.
Why would the National Democratic Party have to conspire? They're the same party. You don't have to. A conspiracy is called that because you breathe together. It means you have to whisper close to each other. It's about whispering a plan. Democrats don't have to do that. They have a platform. They speak openly. That's the point.
To try to turn this country into a one-party state by jailing Biden's number one political opponent. And
why would that stop Republicans from existing? I'm dead serious. How would that? Wouldn't that just like give Nikki Haley and Chris Christie sort of like an automatic leg up in their own party? Why would that destroy their party to get rid of Trump? Seriously. Is this just them admitting this is a fucking monarchy? That's what they're shooting for? That this is just like, a bunch of people who think the sun shines out of Trump's ass and they're all begging for a tan? Why would jailing him get rid of the Republican Party forever? Because you guys will still vote for him? Because he's still representative? Because you're still chasing this pussy-grabbing fake billionaire? And if that's the case, how's that on us? How's that on Democrats?
We're just filing an amicus brief on this issue today, trying to take him off the ballot. And so if I were...
Why are you guys filing an amicus brief trying to take him off the... I'm confused.
Judicial Watch, as you know, Seb, we do.
Also, that's orange. Back the fuck up. That's some orange right there. That is just, watch this.
Filing an amicus brief on this issue today, trying to take him off the ballot.
That's, I mean, he held up his arms outside the courtroom the same day this was taken, and his arms are like white as fucking snow. And his face is that's orange. That's not lighting. The blue in his suit is blue. Everybody else looks normal. Nobody else in there looks orange. You're just fucking orange. Why do you make yourself orange? You fucking tangerine.
And so if I were, Judicial Watch, as you know, Seb, we do our independent investigations. We're going to be asking and suing for documents about these communications we're talking
Jesus Christ. Here's a good idea. Sue for a copy of the Constitution and then read the fucking thing.
About. But where's Congress on this? Doesn't Congress...
I'll tell you where. They're avoiding it because they know they don't have the votes to keep him on the ballot because he has to clear the 60% threshold in the House and the Senate. And they're concerned that even their own party, Republicans, won't vote to keep him on the ballot.
Congress have an interest in the effort to undo our Republican form of government by local prosecutors in league with the Justice Department, in league with Democratic politicians in the states?
20,000 leagues under the sea?
I would think so. I'd haul.
How many leagues do we have to go deep undercover? How many leagues are there? Because once I get to minor league, I kind of lose interest.
In the White House count.
Is he on the Pee Wee League? Is that what we're saying? So there's like presidential politics. That's the real deal. That's the National Football League. That's the NFL. And this asshole is what? Flag football?
Office. I'd haul in Justice Department prosecutors. I'd haul in these prosecutors in Fulton County, the Attorney General of New York, Alvin Bragg, the Soros-backed prosecutor in New York, who's also trying to jail Trump. Instead, they're just figuring out ways of how to keep the money
not just trying to jail Trump.
I do. I like it's more of the overtalk. That's good. It's good stuff. So it's a good way to end the clip too. It's good. These guys are professional. I wish I got to talk to Tara. We need to do more over talking with each other. I know some are like, how is that possible? It is.
Yeah. Not just trying to jail Trump, individuals who campaigned for their positions on jailing President Trump.
And won. They won. The majority of the voters went, yes, I kind of don't care if you do anything else, but that motherfucker, right? I don't know why they think this is a defense.
That's how corrupt these people are. Please follow Tom on social media.
No, I'm not going to pass. By the way, chat, you're wonderful. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. I think how are we doing on likes? How are we doing on likes, people? I don't want to call you on the carpet, but this is some serious shit. Now, I would like to go next to a woman we seldom see these days, ladies and gentlemen. A woman who, in many ways, with this haircut, these glasses, and that lip filler, gives us all, like, I don't know about you, but I can't be the only person having Muppet flashbacks. But apparently, Bartiromo is she's got bad news for the GOP. She's got some bad news for Tim Scott and the and it says apparently, according to this, she has him on. She says, "Let's face it, Bartiromo tells Senator Scott GOP that voters comma GOP. I think it would be slash GOP. Yeah, that voters are upset with them. Oh dear, why would they be upset? Are they not? I don't know. Are they not showing true fealty to the orange shit gibbon? Are they not defending his bizarre brain farts strongly enough? Why? But why?
Joining me right now is Florida Senator Rick Scott, a member of the Senate Homeland Security Armed
and the next in one heartbeat away from being the Grim Reaper.
Services and Budget Committees. He's also the former governor of Florida. Senator, it's good to see you. Thanks very
Is that true?
much for being here. Your reaction to Ron DeSantis dropping out?
Well, all of Florida's in for Donald Trump. Look, I endorsed Trump.
Well, I think what you mean is Florida's in for it.
A long time ago, because here's a guy that secured the border. We have a president that won't secure the border. Here's a president that created a great economy. Look at our economy today.
It's better than it was when he was running things, even if COVID never happened. Also, the national debt, same deal.
Here's a president that kept us out of war. Look, we're in two major conflicts right now. So
no, we're not. We are not in these conflicts. We are not fighting Hamas in Gaza. We are not fighting Russians in Ukraine. We're not in these things. We're supporting our allies. You fucking dickhead. He kept us in Afghanistan and never got us out. Biden got us out of Afghanistan. Biden got us out of Afghanistan. We're out of Afghanistan because of Joe Biden, not because of Donald Trump. Shut the fuck up.
Trump's going to have a big win. I'm glad Ron DeSantis endorsed him yesterday.
Your big win with low turnout.
And I look forward to Trump running through all these primaries and us winning in November.
Yeah, well, let me get your...
Is it just me? Or does he look like Steve Ducey's older brother who's not good at media? You know what I mean? Like voice-wise, face, gestures, like they're the same kind of person. He's like a cross between Steve Doocy and Nosferatu, right? Yeah, Steve Doocy and Batboy, exactly. That's it. That's what he looks like, right? It's like he got his chocolate and his peanut butter.
Take on that, because did you see the Biden-Harris tweets over the weekend? They're calling themselves the Dream Team.
Well,
I'm gonna say that's probably more like a nightmare.
I think they should be the nightmare team.
Oh God, just fucking Maria. Look, if you're gonna play fucking wiffle ball with these motherfuckers, you gotta expect them to whiff them every now and again. This is like T-ball. She's like his mom at T-ball. Here, do this obvious, painstakingly annoying joke that we talked about with our producers before you came on the show during your pre-interview. Thank you. Okay, you missed. Swing again. Swing again. Swing again. It doesn't have to be funny. It just has to be said.
I mean, you look at this. We have a border that's completely open. We got drugs.
We do not have a border that is completely open. Like, and again, how do you say this and without saying fuck the Customs and Border Patrol? Because they would have to. If we have a completely open border, then these motherfuckers are just not doing their job. Is that what you're saying? Do we put this in the category of Trump saying we surrendered in Afghanistan because we didn't stay forever and turn it into the 51st state? Good Lord.
Criminals, terrorists come across our border. The economy's tough, especially for a poor family.
Tough? Oh, is it tough?
Like my family growing up.
Your family growing up. Definitely not your family now, because they're rich from all that fucking Medicare scam money.
We now have our servicemen and women at risk. They're being shot at by the Houthis. I mean, I don't know what...
Yeah, because we're protecting shipping lanes, you dumb motherfucker. What's the option? Because, again, there's so many of these things where politicians will say something without telling you what that means they're calling for. What's the alternative? Okay, if this shouldn't happen, then what should happen? If you're not going to tell me what should happen, I'm going to assume you just want the opposite of this. And if it's the opposite of this, then shut the fuck up. It's like fucking Cenk and these assholes, you know. It's like the ACAB folks who are like, all cops are bastards. Like, you might as well just say all rapists are heroes, because they should go free, because no one should be around to stop them. What are you talking about?
Biden can run on. The budget's out of control. We have $34 trillion worth of debt. We're running $2 trillion deficits. I don't know what he can say has worked.
Really? You do realize you're a Republican, and that number right next to you is over 38,000, you tit. Wages are going up. They just, polls are showing that people are finally starting to admit, and this would be the key part, admit that the economy feels better to them, because so many people were nervous that it would go backwards, and because there was a bit of an ebb and flow post-COVID. They're like, every time I feel like I'm gaining some ground, shit gets pulled backwards. I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to do. And there's this odd rotation of, where they're just uncomfortable with the idea of saying it's good. And then now they're comfortable with finally saying it, because they've had 6 to 8 months of growth for themselves, not for the country at large, but for themselves. They're genuinely experiencing it. And the fact that this motherfucker's hard on families like mine growing up, the fuck out of here.
In the last 3 years.
Yeah. Well, look, let's talk about the border, because Senate border negotiations said that the deal being talked about right now could be finalized by this week. But look, let's face it, voters, viewers, they're upset with the Republicans, Senator. You know that. Okay? It seems like you guys just can't get it across the finish line. You and your colleagues were complaining about the border. You said you were going to dig in. You aren't going to.
Oh, shit. I thought she was going to start reading Trump's tweet and firing up on, holy God, this is hilarious. She's actually saying the whispered part loud. Back that up. Hold on. Get the fuck out of here. Maria, what? How do you solve a problem like Maria? You don't. You're just fucked.
This week. But look, let's face it, voters.
Let's face it. get ready, Rick Scott, to face it.
Viewers, they're upset with the Republicans, Senator. You know that. Okay? It seems like you guys just can't get it across the finish line. You and your colleagues were complaining about the border. You said you were going to dig in. You aren't going to have a continuing resolution. What do we get? We got a continuing resolution. Nancy Pelosi's spending still in place now until March. Is the thinking now you're going to get all the appropriations bills done by March 1st and March 8th, or are we going to have another continuing resolution?
Well, no, we're going to have, it looks like what we're going to have is a McConnell-Schumer omnibus, just like we did every year I've been up there. What happens is they act like, oh, we're going to really work hard at this.
Yeah. Also, that's not Schumer's problem, by the way. We should have an omnibus. You should have to work the entire budget instead of chunking it up into priorities so that whoever's got power in either chamber can fuck the other one out of a balancing number of programs. And Mike Johnson already tried this shit and he failed. The reason why you put them all together is because everybody takes their fucking medicine at the same time. That's how you keep having extremities, or extremists enforcing their extremist policies on each of these different programs or shutting them down entirely just by timing. Put the stuff you'll vote for up, in the beginning, military and some other shit like that, whatever you think you need for votes, and then put like Department of Education at the end and then just let it wither because you never brought it up for a vote and its pay expires, and then you're not having to shut down the fucking government to do it because 80% of it has been funded, so you just get these cuts that you didn't earn from the voters.
Yes, we don't have any votes on it. I'm on the budget committee. We don't have meetings about the budget. This is McConnell and Schumer saying they.
By the way, this is bullshit. They don't have meetings on the budget overall because they have meetings on all the separate chunks of the budget, and there's no giant overarching. Here's what a budgetary meeting would be ultimately. Are we going to shave 5% off of everything? Yes or no? That's it. That's the meeting. No? Okay, can we go back to work, please? Because you're just putting it together, forming the budget as it is, and then moving forward with it. Your cuts come in the programs themselves, in the oversight, but it's complicated and it's very C-SPAN, and these motherfuckers don't want to do it. They just want to say we cut a direct percentage point from it or whatever. And by the way, this is where they get that clip of Biden saying he would cut Social Security because they were going to do a total across the board cut on all government services, but they had to do it evenly. And he was like, I'm even willing to put this up as long as everything does that to help balance the budget and eventually keep Social Security solvent or whatever. I came to the fucking table. You said everything, we said everything. And then you try to back away because we called your fucking bluff.
They want to decide what we spend money on. They'll make the decision. They'll add 7,500 earmarks at the end, and they'll try to cram it down our throat.
Oh, they? Who's they?
Saying, oh, if you
the red states that the blue states pay for.
Don't support this, the government's going to fall apart. The world will end. We'll have plague and all these things. So all this is just.
We did have a plague, kind of. I'm just saying. You might want to rethink using that particular analogy in this one, because the plague was the thing that fucking messed up the economy entirely. Just in case bring up something, I don't know, some other, snakes falling from the sky, that kind of shit.
Just a game that McConnell and Schumer play to waste more money. $34 trillion worth of debt.
That's right. So what
Yeah, a $26 trillion economy. If you made nearly the entire cost of your house, you could pay off your house with like a year and a half of work. Would you consider yourself busted in terms of debt, or would you lay that debt out over time? Especially if your pay was going up at the speed the American economy has grown.
What about the border? Do you believe that you and your colleagues will actually move the needle on the border? Because now President Biden is telling people that, well, he's known this for 10 years, that the border is not secure. He said, no, the border is not secure. He said that on Friday to reporters. I guess it has something to do with the fact that the primary is tomorrow and the election is 288 days away.
And maybe or maybe it was that he spent a bunch of time trying to get rid of Title 42, which was the cause of all the recidivism of people crossing the border 9, 10 fucking times, which is where Trump gets his bullshit 15 million person crossing the border number, or the amount of. That's why they focus so much on like contacts at the border as opposed to actual people in the system, because you see that one person 8 times, but it's still one fucking person. But the contact between them and Customs and Border Patrol. That's a much bigger number.
I guess Mayorkas has been lying all this time, because Mayorkas keeps saying the border is secure every time he comes to testify. So here's where we are. We don't know what the deal is. They won't tell us what the deal is. If it's such a good deal, let's put it out in the public. Let the public hear about it, right? But here's what we know. McConnell's are.
They won't tell us what's in it. 61 billion for Ukraine, 14 for Israel, 9.5 for unspecified humanitarian aid, 13.68 for border management, 7.8 for Indo-Pacific region, including Taiwan. Okay, that's for his 106 billion. Now, what do you think that? Okay, let's just see. What's in bipartisan immigration border deal? Hold on. Let me move this back. Lawmakers are bipartisan deal. Only one face opposition. Border deal nowhere. Reject Senate version. The bipartisan shape. Senators are racing to finish work on the border deal as Ukraine hangs in the balance. This is this guy right here. Ew! It was a squirrel. Where? Oh! I don't like roller coaster. Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm right. I'm done. Hey! Wee! Oh, hey. Where am I? All right. Shit. Deal on border policies was being finalized Monday as senators returned to Washington. What could be a pivotal week? Core group of negotiators has been laboring for nearly 2 months over changes to the U.S. border and immigration policy. He's kept decisions. Speaker Mike Johnson. House recess opportunity this week to gain momentum. The entire world understands it's at stake. It's a goal shared by the President Biden. Requests $110 billion for Congress to provide wartime aid for Ukraine and Israel, support allies, and overhaul U.S. immigration system. However, the emergency funding package has been delayed for months in Congress after Republicans insist that border policy changes also be included in the package, by the way, which is a briar patch moment for the record. President Biden also made clear he's willing to work with Republicans in a big way on border security. Said Chuck Schumer, all of us on the Democratic side are serious about getting something done. He also continues, certainly not a done deal yet, which have been negotiated in private. Top White House officials will be enough to satisfy most Republican senators. Democrats have questions of their own, including whether the border policies will harm migrants seeking asylum in the U.S. Some of the party are pushing to condition military aid for Israel on humanitarian standards. That's already happening. It doesn't have to be in the fucking bill. The idea, and again, what's the fucking standard for the quality of it? What, if they defend themselves at all, is that them not being humanitarians? Is fucking dumb. A small group of 3 senators. How about this? If any of them get tried for war crimes and they're found guilty, we'll take the money back. You're welcome. Okay, there we go. You got as many votes as you can on both sides. But yeah, not everyone's going to be happy. That's how democracy works. The proposal would toughen the asylum process with the goal of cutting the number of migrants who come to the southern U.S. border to make an asylum claim. The group has mostly reached agreements on policy changes, but on Monday was working with Senate appropriators to determine funding levels for the program. They already agree on the value of it. Okay, we can't create new funding and new programming and then not fund it, said Chris Murphy. So if you're committed to the policy change, you have to be equally as committed to funding the policy change. Biden already requested $14 billion in the national security package to bolster the immigration system, including sending financial aid to local governments that have absorbed the historic number of people migrating to the U.S. But the Senate proposal also calls for the expansion of a Biden administration program that tracks families seeking asylum with electronic surveillance, like ankle bracelet monitors, until they're given an initial interview to determine if they are likely fleeing persecution in their home country, according to 2 people familiar with the talks who spoke anonymously to discuss the private negotiation. Senate proposal would also, yeah, that's not surprising. allowing migrants in, let's see, restrict the executive branch's ability to allow migrants into the country through exceptions to immigration law called humanitarian parole. But negotiators had discussed compromise, including putting caps on the number of people that could be paroled. I'm skeptical of any demolition of the president's power in this area, said Dick Durbin. So would the Republicans. Good Lord. Still, Congress has not made significant changes, but let's see. Schumer sought to underscore the urgency of the situation, saying Ukraine is running low on ammunition. Future of the war in Ukraine hangs in the balance. Security of our Western democracy hangs in the balance. Agreed, but also the Europeans are backfilling until we get our shit together, and the deal will ultimately be quite functional in that regard. Woo! It was a squirrel. Sorry. I can't, like, he just looks like Don Knotts to me. It's going to be, I'm sorry. It's just stupid. All right, back to where we were. What is this shit? Okay, so.
He said we're not going to tie border security to Ukraine aid, meaning that we're not going to require a reduction in the number of people come across the border to get monthly aid to Ukraine. So that's wrong. People want a real border security. They might want to support Ukraine, but we do want to get these numbers down to Trump numbers. We don't need a change in the.
No, we don't. We want to get him down to Obama numbers. You want to really get him down? You want to? Are you just fucking around? Seriously, you want to actually solve this? You want to get him back to Obama fucking numbers? Dead serious. Like, what is he talking about? The only reason Trump, over the course of his 4 years in office, had lower numbers than other presidents was because all of COVID, nobody wanted to come here because we had more cases than Mexico did. And by the way, the only reason they care about this is this poll. Most important issue facing the country. Immigration, economy, jobs, foreign policy, healthcare. Okay. So this right here is, I don't know why it's red and this is green. That's curious to me. It's very strange. Do that? And they're almost equal in some ways, but this one has been going down, as has immigration. Also, all of these are, I mean, I guess these are the other part of it. Yeah. And then I guess there's a slice of who knows. This is and by the way, I don't know where this poll is. Iowa Republicans. Fucking hell. Seriously? Iowa Republicans? Why? Because they need farm hands?
Law, actually. Trump did it with the same laws that Biden has now. Biden has just decided not to do it. It's a lawless administration. So why do we believe?
And no, it isn't. Again, Title 40... going back to the original system we had means that if anybody crosses the border, and they're caught and they've done it illegally and they're rejected, they can't try again. If they do, they'll be jailed or sent back to their own country to be jailed, and they're just rejected and they can never become a citizen. But under Title 42, there was none of that. You could just cross as many times as you wanted because the idea was it was remain in Mexico. Remain in Mexico allowed people to just keep trying. And that created the conveyor belt of drugs and human trafficking at the southern border because now the cartels had a business model. The same person could cross 8, 10, 15 fucking times, whenever. Until that policy's done, they can just keep coming in. And they can pay you the first time, but the next time they might have to pay you with sex, or they might have to carry drugs across the border, or arms, or any of that shit. Like, so...
A new bill with no metrics to say you've got to reduce the numbers now to get Ukraine aid is going to make a difference. So I haven't seen the bill. I don't know why they won't show us the bill. It must not. If the way I look at it is, if it's such a great bill, give it to us. Let the public read it, and let's all.
First of all, Republicans and Democrats are negotiating the bill in the Senate right now. If you have a problem with this, ask one of your Senate colleagues. And what they'll tell you is, you know fucking well that this is our committee. You don't get to have a say until the committee is done. And then you can vote on amendments, or you can do it. But we're hashing this out in good faith. I don't backseat drive your seat on whatever fucking committee you're on. Don't backseat drive my fucking committee. That's what they're going to tell you. That's why they're not showing it to you, asshole.
Decide if it's a good bill or not.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You will. When they're done.
So what about this? You haven't seen any right through on this bill, this supplemental. Is the supplemental expected to be just money to Ukraine, money to Israel, or is it supposed to include the border?
It's all together. God damn
Well, I don't believe there's any chance we'll have a supplemental without some border bill, whether it's a good or a bad bill. There will be something in there so people can say, oh yeah, I worked to secure the border. But the bottom line is, if the border doesn't get secure now, then we failed. We didn't succeed. So
Well, first of all, then what are you doing sitting in that studio? Head down there with a fucking shotgun and stand guard. Take a night shift, asshole. What are you talking about? This is legislation. Legislation never solves an emergency directly. It addresses an emergency occasionally, like when you have a hurricane or some shit like that. But if it's such an emergency, then why do you guys give a fuck about $40 billion, any money going to Ukraine? Let's just drop in the fucking bucket compared to the rest of the military expenditure. So why in the hell does it even matter to you? If it's such an emergency at the border, why the fuck are people on your side dug in about not giving money to Ukraine? Why is it that Republicans care more about giving Putin the ability to expand his border than they do about protecting our own?
Need to have a better idea why we're helping Ukraine, why we're spending this amount of money. Are we going to give them lethal aid? What's the Biden
lethal aid? What, dude? It's not 2014. What the fuck are you talking about? Lethal aid? Everything we give them is lethal.
administration plan to do something? Is it to plan to win? Is it plan?
We don't. All right. I don't want to hear anything about whether where the plan is to win or lose from somebody who's holding back the funding. You want to win? Dump as much shit as they could possibly stand so they can chuck it at the Russians and end this shit quicker. Good Lord. Honest to God, this dude's talking like 2014 just happened.
To get to a ceasefire? What's their plan? We don't know. We actually are going to.
We're not. No, we do. We're supporting them based on their desire in this situation, and their desire so far is 91 borders, motherfucker. How about that? That's what they want. That's what we're trying to help them get back to. The question of whether or not they can achieve it is a question that's based on based on factors on the ground and how much we want to give them material support that can actually reach fucking Moscow. And at some point, the Ukrainians just decide, you know what? We've had enough of these motherfuckers. We can hit the Kremlin. It's about time. And we're trying to avoid that. That's the only thing holding us back. And the only reason the Ukrainians would even get to that fucking point is because we've been dragging ass.
To have a Republican conference meeting this week to have some of these conversations, but we don't get told any of these things. We're just expected at the last minute, oh, you have to vote on this bill or somehow the world's going to fall apart.
What the fuck? Like, okay. Funding the government, if you don't fund the government, it is a drastic impact on the American economy and on the fucking government of our country, and leaves us vulnerable to all kinds of attacks and horrendous shit from other countries that are waiting for especially right now, between the fucking Chinese, the Russians, the Iranians, the Saudis, and anybody who's sort of sideline hoping that we just eat shit so they can jump ahead of us in line. There are enough, any gap you can create for them, they're going to try and shove a fucking pry bar in there as best as they can. And these are totally unnecessary. Like the border, the border could have been solved months ago if not for all this fucking faux. Just them running on the idea, literally just needing to. They need the border to run on. So why fucking fix it? There is no reason for them to fix it on a material level because it is their. It's the hinge point of their entire electoral. I would say it's Trump's main campaign strategy, and all the other Republicans are drafting in behind it, which is the border's horrible, it's wide open, it's terrible, and monsters are coming across it every fucking day, and therefore, the weird thing is they've painted themselves into this corner that if they fix it or participate in fixing it at all, they won't have that, and that's the only thing they can run on, because the economy is healing after COVID. We are all, like, the supply chains are shortening, wages are going up, all this shit. They got nothing. The only thing they can stand on is this perception of this open, porous fucking border. And they have to maintain it that way. It's so odd.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just economic policy and all of the spending.
It's not the economic policy at all, you dumb motherfucker. So weird.
Senator, it's also...
she sees the jobs numbers. We've watched her, have preeclampsia, just have it like a fucking, the vapors every time the jobs numbers come out, because they're like, oh, the only thing I can say bad about this is that it's going to take them a longer to lower interest rates because people are still making way too much fucking money.
Foreign policy that people are questioning of this administration. 2 Navy SEALs now presumed dead after Central Command called off a 10-day search. They went missing, as you know, during a mission to find weapons that Iran was sending to the Houthi rebels.
Right. So tell us, Maria, tell us how they died in vain. Just jump in there anytime. Just let us know how these 2 heroes trying to just stop weapons from getting to where they will do harm. By the way, without strafe bombing some fucking place, do you think that the U.S. Navy could have just blown the boat they were boarding, to check for these weapons and to get these weapons? Do you think the U.S. Navy has the capacity to just bomb this ship and sink it, send it to the bottom of the ocean, send it to the bottom of the Gulf of Aden? Do you think? Do you think we have the capability to do that, Maria? And interestingly enough, do you think we just should have, rather than risk those 2 soldiers' lives? Or do you want to say, you want to admit that these 2 guys were heroes because they were participating in a peacekeeping effort that endangered their fucking lives?
The Houthis also launched a barrage of missiles and rockets at U.S. forces at the Al-Assad Air Base in Iraq. Several military personnel injured there. Some troops were evaluated for traumatic brain injury, Senator. What are we supposed to do? What is the response to Iran, given all of these attacks by Iranian proxies on our troops in the Middle East?
Right. Okay. So we're not supposed to respond to the Houthis and the other groups in the area. We know these guys are proxies. So should we just bypass remember, these are the people who are saying Biden's getting us into wars. He's doing everything he can to avoid it right now, considering how much of this dust shit. You think Bush and Cheney or fucking Trump would have responded in a balanced way to any of this shit? They do everything they could to ratchet this shit up, or giving the land away to the Iranians and then just hope to build fucking Trump Tower Tehran later.
Well, first off, I served in the Navy. I never expected the President of the United States to put me in harm's way unless we had a plan. And what this president has done by being soft on Iran, soft on the Houthis, soft on
the Houthis? Are you out of your fucking mind? They bombed, the first shot was 16 places in 6 different cities, you dumbass. Soft? What's soft about sending our troops aboard these weapons ships?
Everybody around the world, he's putting our men and women at risk.
Our men and women are at risk in all of these places all the fucking time. And by the way, they were at risk the entire time Trump was in office. There were, 98 returns at we've talked about this before. He stopped going to them bringing the bodies back from overseas after the 4th one because one of the parents of a dead soldier was mad at him, at Trump.
We need peace through strength. We need to.
What does that mean? Yeah, great phrase. What does that mean? What's peace through strength, motherfucker? If the Iranian, she just asked you, if the Iranians are acting through proxies, what the fuck does peace through strength look like? If we're hitting the proxies and you don't think that's strong, then explain it to me, motherfucker. Explain it to me. Simmer down with this peace through. I don't want to hear fucking peace through strength until I hear what your standard for strength is. Because it sounds like you want us to nuke Iran or do nothing. That's it. 0 to fucking genocide in 2 seconds. Is that the idea?
Show the world if you do not mess with the American military. But what we do is we put the military out there. We get shot at. We very rarely go back against our enemies. Why aren't we killing?
What the fuck?
The Houthi leadership.
Okay, first of all, where are they? You mean? Well, let's see. We kind of are. Secondarily, one of the reasons is because it would mean killing a bunch of civilians because the Houthi leadership live in and amongst civilians. It's a Hamas tactic.
We have the ability to do this. They need to die. If you want to shoot at an American soldier, you will die. That's that.
Right, but we're firing at the places where they're actually doing the shooting from, not risking firing into a civilian area where we don't have any intelligence. Specifically, good Lord.
It has to be our policy.
Well,
okay, what is it? Fine. I don't give a fuck what your policy is. How do you execute the policy? Policy's one thing. It's great. Have a doctrine. The fucking, like, the Rick Scott doctrine. Okay, fine. How do you implement it? What does it fucking look like? And none of them will say it like Schenkel sometimes talk about the Israelis like they should send in special forces and stuff, which is just fucking, how can you tell that nobody knows shit about what it takes to actually send in a special forces team? And that's just a recipe for, 8 fucking coffins most of the time. It's just dumb in a situation, again, in a densely populated area like Gaza, all this kind of stuff. It's the same thing you're seeing right here. What the fuck does that even mean? Fucking bumper stickers.
I got to tell you, Senator, I don't think anybody's shaking in their boots about America and what America will do.
Yeah, especially the ones who are blown out of their fucking boots.
If, in fact, you're shooting at our troops. And that pains me to say that.
Also, she's sitting in a high back chair and it looks like she's got crazy shoulder pads on, just for the record. Can I, let's see. Let's do another go. Let's see. I'm going to bring you a couple of things. Let's go to here. This is an hour ago. This is 55 minutes ago. Let's see. Gulf of right. Cargo ship. Let's see. Fresh strikes on the U.S. Strikers. This is the. Yeah, here you go. So let me show you what's actually fucking happening right now. This is her like, I don't even know what they're doing. What are they doing? They're not doing anything. Okay. U.S. and U.K. Have launched fresh strikes on the Houthis in Yemen. They have said Monday strikes hit 8 targets, including an underground storage site and Houthi missile and surveillance capability. The Iran-backed Houthis have been targeting ships they say are linked to Israel and the West, which they aren't. For fuck's sake, like, just because you rent a fucking boat doesn't give... They still have hostages. They still have Japanese, Bahrainian, Ukrainian, and fucking other Eastern European hostages right now. The fuck does that have to do with Israel? I guess taking hostages is the language of the unheard. Jesus Christ. U.S. and U.K. say they're trying to protect the free flow of commerce, which is true, but also you can't... It's not... Again, the weird part is... There's some people in the news who've been calling this a blockade. Now, what do you picture when you hear the phrase blockade? Don't you picture something like what happened in the Suez Canal when that ship got turned sideways? Remember that shit when they couldn't get blockade? I think they block something. They use ships to block it. They kind of move these things through so you can't get through, and they make it dangerous for you to try to transit the area. Firing missiles at random civilian ships is not a fucking blockade. It's attempted murder. That's what it is. It's attempted murder. They're trying to murder rando fucking crew members. I don't want to hear any shit from these people about the Houthis are creating an anti-Israel blockade. Get the fuck out of here. That's like, again, it's like a bank robber going, I will stop robbing banks as soon as you solve the homeless problem, to try and create some sort of illusion of them being a Robin Hood. And then you ask them, oh, are you robbing these banks and giving the money to the homeless? Oh, no, fuck that. I'm keeping it. Are you nuts? I'm not giving this to the homeless. What are you, fucking stupid?
Really, but...
Hold on.
I want to talk China.
And I forgot. Hold on one second. She's going to jump to China. Oh, good. U.S. British military has launched new round of joint strikes against multiple Houthi sites in Yemen. Get out of here. U.S. denies the Yemeni Houthi claim an attack on U.S. military cargo ship in Gulf of Aden because that was bullshit. And then the U.S. expands attacks on Houthis with the new strikes in Yemen, and the French are now joining us. By the way, I got news for you. If your guys are in sandals, you're gonna lose. Seriously. If your fighting force is wearing sandals, you are too used to killing women and kids. If your soldiers can wear sandals into battle, all you do all day, every day is kill civilians. Are you out of your fucking mind? You fucking stand out there. They're all wearing the Trump caucus captain hats. It's ironic, isn't it? Whew. All right, she's going to, just when I thought she could say something dumber, she's going to bring up China.
For a moment, because we've seen a similar lack of response to communist China.
By the way, this is not China. I don't know shit. I'm glad they went to this map, but this just shows how fucking stupid
That we have to Iran. And you have a new bill which is targeting imports from China, specifically garlic imports from China. You call it the Communist China's sewage garlic. Tell us about the bill and what.
And by the way, I brought this up a while back, so stop stealing my fucking issues. If you buy already processed garlic, more than likely it comes from China and it's made with slave labor, just for the record. So if you cut minced garlic, stuff that's in powder form, all that shit without the raw, fresh garlic, yes. So Chinese, and this is, I don't know why he's lashing onto this, other than maybe there's garlic in Florida. Is that the idea? But the China Show did a great report on this recently. Those guys are great. Check them out at ChineseShow.com. There we go. But it is, yeah. Okay. Try to move this back so I can show it to you. So like this is what he's talking about. And it's such a weird hill for him to jump onto. Chinese garlic is a threat to U.S. national security and a severe public health concern. Says the garlic imported from China was a threat to national security. The senator said garlic in China was fertilized with human feces and grown in sewage. That's true of almost everything. That's why they buy 80% of their foodstuffs. Report said there's no hard evidence showing sewage was used as fertilizer in China because you can't get hard evidence, rather. And garlic importers are saying the production methods mean that food could pose a national security risk. I don't know. I guess because it's septic, which is just weird because most of it's like dried and processed and stuff, and we've all seen The Martian. Just because it's grown in human feces isn't the problem. It's the chemicals that they use in the processing and the fact that they use slave labor to cut it. Whole or separated constituent cloves, whether or not peeled, chilled, fresh, frozen, potentially served or preserved or packed in water, are neutral. Scott wrote, citing cooking blogs, home magazines, YouTube videos, and documentaries. He claimed that were well documented the garlic from China was fertilized with human feces and was grown in sewage. Okay, I got to say, the least of their worries. It's also, it's peeled with slave labor. That's the biggest reason. The problem is, isn't it ironic? Isn't it ironic that he decides to use, and I've always told you guys that there's a odd correlation between being conservative and having a high ick factor, that you get easily grossed out. That's where the homophobia comes from. It's where they're just very icky. And it's why like Christians love turd humor. It's just got, like they just react to it a little too much. You know what I mean? But in this particular instance, he chooses to use that as the manipulation point for his own voters instead of going, it's picked and processed by slaves. One would think that would be enough. I think it is. I'm not buying fucking garlic from China. And keep in mind, 我会说中文. I speak Chinese.我最爱中文的文化. I love Chinese culture. I really love Chinese culture. But what the government is doing over there is fucking horrifying. So, hard no. How about that? Okay, let's go back to this dipshit and his garlic bill.
The issue is, sir,
China wants to demolish our way of life. We need to stop buying anything from China. We need to stop today. Look at every package. If it says China, it's bad for you. Take garlic as an example. Chinese garlic has 70% market share. You go to your grocery store, if you can buy Chinese garlic,
Right. That's the part. 70% market share. And it's the funny thing is it's more of a concern for Italy than it is for us.
Here's what you're buying. You're buying garlic grown in sewage water and human feces. It's black when it's finished. They bleach it. To make it look white.
Are you serious?
And they're giving it they want to sell it to your kids.
How do we know if it's from China or not?
Well, what's nice is that for produce, you have to disclose country of origin at the grocery store. Unfortunately, for packaged goods, you don't. So you could buy a packaged good that has like cinnamon, as an example, made with Chinese cinnamon that has lead in it, and hurt yourself. But at least with produce,
Hurt yourself.
At least with produce, we do that.
All right.
Right. Well, the problem is the 70%. This is fucking stupid because 70% of the market share. The problem that they have is 70% of the garlic people buy is in garlic salt and garlic powder and minced garlic that's already dried and already put in stuff. So, like, you're not going to find raw garlic at the grocery store from China most of the time because you can buy that pound for pound price point is the same everywhere. It's the peeling of garlic and the processing of it that is still largely done by hand that makes it really complicated. And therefore, that's why you need human beings to do it. Ugh. Right. And please tell us about lead exposure. Most of the chat room is certain you're an expert. By the way, you're watching HAL Sparks Mega Worldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Chat room, you're wonderful. How are we doing on likes? Do we have it? And Twitch. Subscribe on Twitch. You can also, by the way, you can gift memberships on Twitch and, there's subscriptions. You can gift subscriptions on Twitch and you can gift memberships on YouTube. It's a great gift to somebody who doesn't want to watch ads and all that kind of stuff. It's really helpful. 1.3, that's pretty good. I think we can do better. I think we could hit 2K. I think we can hit 2,000 likes. I'm certain of it because...
Even outside, it's packed.
You know what I'm saying? By the way, I'm probably going to go long tonight because of the nature of the show. Now, because I don't have a show tomorrow. Let's see. Okay, so here, if we can, speaking of packed.
Moon River.
This is Trump's first statement on Ron DeSantis' endorsement. So Ron DeSantis endorsed him, whatever. This is
Right Side Broadcasting Network is in President Trump's motorcade right now.
Sitting on Marjorie Taylor Greene's lap.
As he is en route to his 5th New Hampshire campaign stop in just a week. Tonight, he'll be in Rochester, but...
Wow, 5 whole stops in 7 whole days.
Prior to that, we're making an...
What a beast.
An undisclosed stop right now, so we'll bring you that as it happens.
You mean you don't know where you're going? It's an undisclosed stop. We're lost. Trump's trying to choke one of the Secret Service again.
We are in New Hampshire
trying to throttle his driver
right now. And until then, as we know,
Well, at least you know what state you're in. That was fucking amazing. Wait, back up.
Making an undisclosed stop right now, so we'll bring you that as it happens. We are in New Hampshire right now. And
well, all right. Thanks for narrowing it down.
Until then, as we know, other than President Trump's Rochester stop tonight, the big news of the day is out of Florida as Governor Ron DeSantis has officially dropped out of the race and has officially endorsed Donald Trump for president. So,
like the absolute Ted Cruz fucking weenie that he is.
We'll see what 45 has to say about the man who President Trump says has been disloyal by even running against he.
Oh, he'll throw it all out. Now that he's endorsed him, it's water under the bridge, my friend. Yeah. And anybody, like, the rule is all you got to do is debase yourself and tongue his butthole, and all of a sudden you're in the good graces. Everything is washed away in the goo of the lamb.
Moon River. Drop your shorts and bend over, Mr. Babar.
And MAGA in the first place. As we are here in the Trump press van, we're going to be getting out of the van here, and we're going to...
Great, thanks. I figured as much.
See what happens as President Trump is making this surprise.
Jesus Christ, are you being mugged? Shake the camera if you're being abducted.
Stop here at this area right now. Obviously, just authentic kind of coverage right now with Right Side Broadcasting.
Yeah, totally authentic. What do you mean authentic? Gonzo, I think, is the word you're
Network
using.
As we walk in this direction with the press pool.
Really? Why not walk the other direction? Why would you follow the crowd? Right side broadcasting, you fucking suck-ups.
And we'll be trying to hear what President Trump has to say about.
It sounds like from a news point of view, if you're in his press van, what you might seem like part of the, good strategy.
About Ron DeSantis
Rhonda who?
leaving.
Wait, he's going into a thrift store? Does he need new pants? What happened?
The race for president. We're about 30 minutes from Manchester, 30 minutes north.
We've stopped at an empty office park area. Oh, it's a fire station. He's bringing the pizzas to the fire station.
Quite a quick trip up this way as we head into the
That's what this is.
campaign.
Hi. Yeah, sure. I guess so. I'm being brought a treat. Yes. Treats. Uh-huh. Wow. Where in the world did you find this?
I saw it online. I thought.
My girl got me meat hearts. I think these are these jerky bites, but they have they've got it's got a little slot on the front of it. If you know what I'm saying. And you could just pull one of these out and it's
Open it.
okay. It looks like a bottle opener on the top. All right. Wow. This one says beef mine. Excuse me. Hold on. We'll be back. Hi. How you doing? Where was I? Put my meat hearts away for later. Excuse me. Might have to cut the show short. I'm just saying. It's ironic though. I want you to know what a progressive household that I'm not the only one that brings the meat in this family. You know what I'm saying? All right. Quit it. Just stop. Where were we?
Headquarters right now as we take a live look look right now at Trump 2024 Make America Great Again.
Jesus Christ. He's in this can we get some cheap office space that's cold inside, like tin walls?
These are the campaign headquarters in
it's hot.
New Hampshire.
Right, yeah. You want to enter past the dumpster?
As you know, he has a huge lead in New Hampshire, Nevada as well. And we hear some people right now chanting 4 more years. So let's take a live listen.
Bring it over here to your right, sir.
4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more years.
Yeah, it'd be a little weird if the people in your actual state election headquarters weren't chanting that when you show up. You know what I mean? Isn't that weird?
4 more years.
Matthew?
USA! 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 USA!
Notice they're locked into a particular syllable limit, it seems.
USA! USA! USA!
We are dumb. We are dumb. I love Satan. Satan is my pal.
USA! 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 USA!
Is he not coming?
We love Trump! We love Trump!
Yep, we love Trump. Apparently, there's a thing where if you say, anything with 2 syllables, any 2-syllable words, he's fucking out of there.
So President Trump about to appear here at this Trump campaign headquarters in New Hampshire. You're watching Right Side Broadcasting Network. Of course, the big event tonight in Rochester.
We need Trump! We need Trump! We need Trump! We need Trump! We need Trump!
You are sad. This is lame. Grow the fuck up.
We need Trump!
For
USA!
Jesus Christ. Oh, God. Hey, I gotta be honest. Trump couldn't be here, so I'm filling in for him, okay? Listen here. They put this mask on me, but I'm doing my best. I want you to know I will do my best, Trump, for you that I possibly can. And I have a potential running mate. She is dynamite, okay? Now settle down. We're gonna make this happen. I'm Donald Trump, and we are you. You ask me, what are Trump? We don't know. Something, I don't know. And I'm gonna go lay down. Y'all have a good time. Oh shit.
Everybody, oh
Wow.
how are you, everybody? So you know we've been doing great. We're leading by a lot. And
Hold on.
TPP2, I like her a lot. Like record-setting stuff. That's the way we
Like record-setting stuff.
want it. We had the big day in Iowa, and we're going to have a big day in New Hampshire, I think
Big day. It's going to be a big day. And then we're going to leave because I don't need to be here.
equal to. And we just got some word that one of our opponents, very capable person, is dropping out of the race, Ron DeSantis. And Ron is dropping out, and in doing so, he endorsed us.
Yeah, we get it. It's the campaign office. Shut the fuck up and just listen to him.
And it's a little cold outside, but not too bad. Don't forget, in Iowa, 40 degrees below zero. This is like warm weather. This is very warm up here. It's beautiful. We love you. So what happens is very interesting because he's out as of 3 o'clock this afternoon with the endorsement. Without the endorsement, I think we would have gotten almost all of those votes because we have very similar policies: strong borders, great education, low taxes.
No dirty books. All books are dirty. Whatever. I don't read, so I wouldn't know. But I assume basically you got to ban the books, everything but the Bible, which I've read the cover of almost once.
Things that very, very few regulations.
He almost said she.
As few as possible. Things that she really doesn't talk about because she's a globalist.
Okay, so are we talking about Nancy Pelosi or?
So I think most of those votes, and I guess the polls say that most of those votes, or certainly many of them, come to us. But we don't need them because the poll just came out. Suffolk just came out. Boston Globe. And they say we're very far ahead, like by many, 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 many points.
Yeah, I mean, you just saw it. Maybe a number. You're far ahead by many, many points. What would that number be? I mean, I'm going to guess it's double digits since you can't have more than 100%. So maybe just ballpark. You don't even have to nail it. You could just say like 35%, like 12%. Now, I'm guessing that the reason you're not saying it is because it's not that great sounding. It sounds like you're well below 50% and she's still gaining on you. And the vote is until tomorrow and your diaper's full because of it.
So I don't think we're going to need that. And the main thing is we're going to all work together and we're going to defeat the worst president in the history of our country. The worst and most incompetent president of the
that would be you. Why are they cheering to keep you from getting elected? That seems odd.
History of our country. The world is blowing up. Take a look. The Middle East and Ukraine. The whole world is blowing up.
Yeah, and it's a shame that Portland already burned to the ground because you can't even. I would love to see it blow up again. I mean, I think a lot of us would. It's just exciting. It's a good thing. I think it should be an annual thing.
And when I left, there was peace all over the world.
Jesus Christ. No, there wasn't. There was a fucking pandemic. Everybody was inside. Are you nuts? Peace all over the world. You don't get credit when everybody's hiding in their fucking house to try and avoid dying of a contagious disease, dumbass. One of the greatest periods of peace the world has ever known. Black Plague. Black Plague struck that. I mean, there were very few wars in Europe, say what you will, about the Black Plague. But, it kept the peace dividend from disease is something you can't. I mean, it's amazing what you're doing, what you do.
As Viktor Orban said, bring back Trump immediately. Get him back. You know who he is, right? Prime Minister of Hungary. He said, bring back Trump. Because since then, the whole world is blowing up, and we could end up in a World War III by the time these people finish. They have no.
Well, then what good are you? I don't even know why you're running. You should probably get to a bunker immediately. I mean, you've got money, right? Why don't you buy one of those fucking hollowed out missile silos? Just hide in there till Biden's presidency is over. I mean, honestly, what chance do you have? You can't do anything. If it's gonna hit, it's gonna hit soon. And if it holds off until you're in office, isn't it your fault?
No idea what they're doing. But I did want to come over and say, I'm making a big speech very shortly. And
Big speech? Really?
A couple of your leaders, but you're the real leaders, but a couple of your leaders said, do you think you could stop? There's some volunteers that are extraordinary. Could you possibly stop? I said, sure. Is it on our way?
Jesus Christ. I'm not going to go out of my way. I mean, fuck these people. I mean, this is boring.
I said, is it on our way? They said, pretty close, about a half an hour. That's a lot. A half an hour in Trump time, that's a hell of a lot, my man.
We love you.
Jesus Christ. I don't have that much time left. I mean, I can't. Hold on. Partly be declared a disaster area. I'm sorry, Doc. Yeah, my bad. You're right. It should have been. We need to declare Portland a disaster area so the federal funds can come pouring in.
So,
We love Trump! 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 We love
so
Trump!
I said, don't worry about it. Get that card, turn that sucker around, and let's go. We're going to say hello to the people. These are our friends. These people are here. And you've been here right from the beginning, and in many cases,
You've been here from the beginning, and in many cases before
New
the
Hampshire
beginning.
has a great history with me because we came into New Hampshire really wanting and needing a win in 2016, right?
Why was that? Why did you need that? I thought you won Iowa. Didn't you say you won Iowa?
Yeah. And we had that win, and that was a big win, and we won by over 20 points. And so I always.
It's starting to get a little scary because we're within that 20-point margin, and now that the sanctimonious has dropped out and become a suck-up, I'm afraid his voters are just not going to show.
I have a warm spot in my heart.
I've got a warm spot in my pants. For you.
The governor is not exactly the best. I wouldn't rate him the best. He's super rhino, I would say. Yeah. Well,
It was super rhino. Honestly, good Lord. He's in your party. Shut the fuck up. What is he? All right.
Actually, that.
I don't care. Why am I? I don't care. Fuck him. Yeah. Go after him. Destroy the rhino. Yes. All the rhinos bad. There's only two kinds of Republicans: fake ones and full of shit ones. I'm trying to help. I'm trying to get in the spirit.
He ran for, by the way, one of the great photographers of the world, right here, even though he works for the New York Times. That's his only thing. That's the only thing he's got going against him. Hello, Bill.
One of the greatest photographers, and why is he at Nunt level? This is not right. He's great. He works for the New York Times, which is where I really want my pictures.
No, he's a man that, frankly, should have changed the voting systems. Think of it. Democrats are allowed to vote?
No, they're not. No, they're not. Undeclared and independents can do it, but a Democrat would have to have changed their party affiliation like 6 fucking months ago.
In a Republican primary, it's not going to matter, but they're allowed to vote, and already they have 4,000 or 5,000 people signed up. What is that all about? And independents are allowed to vote in a Republican primary.
What the fuck? Fuck independents. You're right. Tell them to go fuck themselves. This is just dumb. Independents don't know who should be the Republican. Right? They don't have any say in the fuck independent voters. You tell them. It's stupid.
The whole thing is crazy, just crazy.
It's been that way it was this way last time. What are you doing?
But it's good because you know what? We win anyway. We're going to win by a lot. It feels just like Iowa.
It feels just like Iowa, mainly because of the snow and the weird little places that I have to go to and the half-filled rooms. That's one thing. The one consistent thing in all these states is the half-filled gymnasiums, you know?
Maybe 35, 36 points, and we ended up getting close to 53. And it was the biggest victory, Iowa, the biggest victory in the history of the deal. And I guess it goes back.
You mean the caucuses? Say caucuses. You can't remember the word caucuses.
They've all they don't even know how far it goes back, like into the early 70s. And this was the biggest victory. I think we're going to have the same kind of a thing here. I really do. It feels the same to me. We're leading by a lot.
Why would it feel different? You don't go anywhere but rooms full of supporters. And by the way, yeah, it probably feels the same. These places you're at are half full. The fucking gymnasiums in Iowa were half full, and there was a half turnout.
But we'll end up with records. And again, I'm not even concerned with all the Democrats that are going to vote. Remember, they're going to vote for her because they want to run against her. They are the party of disinformation.
No, just use biblical phrases. Thee are the party, they, and thou shalt therefore be.
And misinformation. They're slightly different. There's a very fine difference. I won't explain it to you right now.
I wish you would try. One's active, one's passive. See how hard? I don't know.
Very boring, but it's close enough.
It's close enough. Yeah. You know what? I don't even know why we have an M and a D in English, because basically, the words, are basically interchangeable if they start with an M or a D.
And they will always say, "Oh, we want to run against Trump," but they don't want to run against me.
Yeah, they do.
They ran against me in 2016. They said, "We want to run against Trump." How did that work out? Not too good for them.
But the most recent one, this is now that people know who you are and what you do, how would that actually work out?
And frankly, we did much better in 2020. And now we're going to do better than we ever did because the spirit, and now we've gotten to see how they can destroy a country. Before we didn't know that to the extent.
What are you talking about? Biden was Obama's VP. What do you think? The policies were going to be shockingly different, dumbass?
But they've destroyed. They're destroying our country, almost destroyed. But
almost, not quite. I mean, you got a couple of months
left. We're going to save it.
That's right. But, a year from now.
We're going to save it. And we're going to have the strongest border you've ever seen. We had the best border in the history of our country. Now we have the worst border in the history of the world. Think of it.
Just think that lie over and over again. Just take those words and put them in your head and don't ask any questions. Just let them slip right by any kind of logic or reason that you have, and just like a seed, just kind of drop into the fucking turd brain that you have and grow.
And we're going to do things that are fantastic. Another thing we're going to do, drill, baby, drill.
How did this asshole ends up using Sarah Palin's fucking talking point? That's not. It became, I guess, a Republican redundant phrase. But Jesus Christ, if that's your sales, you're going back to the great words of our great American Sarah Palin.
We're
going to do, and then one day when I'm back in office, if we can get these people out of there and they don't destroy our country first, all of us will be able to see Russia from our kitchen window.
Because, in New Hampshire, you have the highest energy costs in the whole nation by far.
Yeah. And do you think what does that tell you? Is it a federal thing? If the states are different, if one state's more expensive than another, maybe it's state rules?
I don't know what it is. It's your governor's fault.
Maybe look it the fuck up. It's not the governor's fault. It's the fucking policy that they've had forever.
Honestly, it is. Work deals. Get energy. Get it. We have plenty of it.
Just get the energy. Get energy. I don't know, pour Monster in your trunk, in your truck, just in your trunk, whatever, and put it wherever it goes. Just
River.
use one of those old oil can tops and just go to town. That's just...
Drop your shorts and bend over, Mr. Babar.
And now, and it has been that way always. It's for some reason.
Right. It has been that always. It has been that. What the fuck?
Fault. Honestly, it is. The work deals, get in as you get it. We had plenty of it, and now, and it has been that way always. It's for some reason, and you also have.
It has been that way always, but it's your governor's fault.
Per capita, just about the worst drug problem, and that's a shame. And I went around with your police department and your fire department over the years.
Over the years, and it didn't get better?
They're unbelievable, the job they do.
I'm glad, but somehow after your presidency, it got worse?
The job they do is unbelievable. I mean, so much of it is drug-related.
What is up with you people? You New Hampshire people, you're all fucking high.
They save people's lives to an extent that you wouldn't believe possible.
Why wouldn't I believe? What do you mean? They don't flip a coin or? Okay, Narcan or no? Sorry, buddy. You wouldn't believe it. The level.
And so we owe them, and I owe you because you have brought me so far. And literally, almost everybody in this room, other than the very young ones, they've been with me right from the beginning. 2015 and 2016 stuff, right?
Yes, you have not grown your support in any material way.
So I just want to thank everybody. And if you...
There are no new people except these people bringing their children in that building from 8 fucking years.
Don't mind, I got to make a speech because I'm going to be a little bit late. We have a big crowd. Did you see the crowd we had yesterday?
Oh, yeah, huge.
Outside, it's packed.
We took an arena. We broke the record. We took an arena. It was so packed. There wasn't a
How packed was it?
seat. And then outside, we're trying to get people in.
Bullshit.
The biggest they've ever had.
Bullshit.
And here's how the news reported it. Had a reasonable number of people. It was like ho-hum. I remember when Bernie Sanders used to have 2,000 people. They said, "This crowd is unbelievable. This is the most unbelievable."
Oh, good. Bernie Sanders. You're going to bring up Bernie Sanders? This is your dunk.
Thing I've ever seen. And I'd be down the road. We'd have 25,000, 30,000.
He says this.
People. They wouldn't even mention it. I said, "This is something wrong." That was at the beginning. I said, "This is something wrong with this fake news stuff." So
This is something wrong with this fake news stuff.
We developed the name Fake News, and it seemed...
We developed it. Oh, good. Well, at least he's admitting that, I guess, Norm Macdonald actually created it, and he just borrowed it. We developed it. We had we all sat around and just had a we kind of workshopped it for a while. Like, which accent should be, should you go fake news or fake news? We worked at, there was a lot of effort put into it, a lot of creativity, a lot of good people come up to me saying, "Sir."
Stuck. Yeah. Because right now the media is rated lower than Congress. And I would say that was something nobody thought could happen, right, my friend? So,
my friend, what's his name? Right there, next to Mr. Chairman of the group that does the thing with the people and stuff. Yeah, I don't know what his fucking name is. Ask my friend over there. My really good friend. The guy, my friend. Him.
Thank you all very much. Big day. We have a big day. I'll be back tomorrow. I go in for a Biden trial. I call them the Biden trial. Zero Biden. They've weaponized government. So I'm going to make my speech, and I'm going to go to New York. I'm going to spend time in the morning in New York. Then I'm coming back here. And people say, "How the hell do you do it?"
I'm going to guess manic disorder and drugs.
But that's what they want to do. They want to exhaust you.
Why?
Both from a dollar standpoint and physically, but...
From a dollar standpoint. I'm dollar exhausted.
We don't get it. Do we get exhausted?
No, I've always got your dollars. I don't even have to use my dollars. I use your dollars, you dumbasses.
What they've done is they've weaponized the Department of Justice at a level. I have 7 lawsuits. Every single one of them is related to the Department of Justice.
Well, first of all, no, you don't. The E. Jean Carroll case, by the way, is a lawsuit, and it has nothing to do with criminal charges. The DOJ is only in charge of the criminal shit.
Look at Fani. Fani. It's not Fanny. It's supposed to be Fanny. F-A-N-I.
No, F-A-N-I would be Fani.
Because no you. Think of it.
No you. That's why it's pronounced Fanny and not Fani, because it's not F-A-U-N-I. That's his argument.
So Fani, and she pays her boyfriend like close to $1 million out of the coffers of Georgia. You ever see anything like this one? But here's the thing.
Yeah, but she did pay him to go after you. The problem is I think they were just shocked at how easy it would be.
They spent much time at the White House figuring out how to indict.
They did? They spent much time? How much time is the question?
Dollars out of the coffers of Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
You ever see anything like this one?
No.
But here's the thing. They spent much time at the White House figuring out how to indict.
They did? They spent much time at the White House trying to figure out how to indict? Well, how much time? How much? Just much time. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. Much, very much. Lots of super much.
Yes. The former president of the United States, 45th president.
Oh, okay. I thought for a second there, I thought they were going after George W. Bush.
Who just recently got 70, think of it, who just recently got 75 million votes, the most in history for a sitting president.
Right, but your opponent, who you said is a doddering old man who never left his basement, beat you by like nearly 8 million votes.
So there's one you'd say, oh, that's not involved. They're all involved, including civil ones, and including the AGs and the DAs. All
What? Also, is his argument now that popularity equals innocence? Because I got news for you. The people of New York, after John Gotti got, I guess, walked from his third indictment, he was super popular. He was basically a media darling for a while. And then he went to jail and nobody gave a fuck.
Democrats, all Democrat judges. Now think of the timing.
Not all of them. There's one very particular judge, which curiously enough is going to oversee the court case where, whether she likes it or not, you're going to be in deep shit.
We have our vote the day after tomorrow, and I go to court tomorrow. This is all planned.
Well, it wouldn't have to be. You could have sped up your trials earlier and not delayed anything. You know what the evidence is. They know what the evidence is. What the fuck is the holdup?
And they want to rush it, but I said, why didn't you bring the case 3 years ago?
Well, then I guess they don't want to rush it.
Because they had no case.
Well, I mean, in some cases you hadn't committed the crime yet. In the case of the documents case specifically, like you were in the process of committing the fucking crime. You had not finished criming.
This is all bad stuff.
It is well said. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta say, the best words followed by the best lip jut or tongue jut and the best sniff at the same time. Combination tongue jut and sniff. It's always a good look. You know, with the gropey hands, too. It looks like he's groping the RSBN microphone. That's excellent. Excellent. Fuck me.
And the truth is, I don't believe I'd be up. I mean, we're up numbers that nobody's ever been up.
Yeah. Okay.
I really believe that.
He literally beat Ted Cruz's score in Iowa by like 5,000 votes, and he'd already been president once. What are you talking about?
They have so overplayed their hand that it actually helped us from this standpoint. It's a very bad precedent, however. It's a country killer. What they're doing is a country killer.
You mean inflation? This is just now everything they do is a country killer? I don't think you can do that. I think, and especially if all of these things are country killers, if everything they're doing is a country killer and the country's not dead yet, I'm either going to have to question, maybe you can't, maybe America is just unkillable. Good for us. Or you're full of shit. That'd be it.
And Joe Biden.
or both?
Biden, who maybe doesn't even know what's happening, because he's surrounded by communists and fascists, young, smart, vicious.
Young, smart, communist fascists.
He's got a woman running the Department of Justice, Lisa Monaco. I think she's really running it.
Merrick Garland's running the. Never mind.
She's friends with a guy named Andrew Weissman, who's been for years failing against me. For years, I've been fighting these people off for years. These are bad people that hate our country. So I'm going to go make a speech.
Please, just get the fuck out of there.
I'll be back tomorrow afternoon, and we are going to...
And I will say the exact same fucking thing.
Have some fun, and we are going to have...
I'm going to repeat myself and sniff and stick my tongue out, and then I'm going to try and write my name on some girl's boob and assume that all the ladies here are within pussy-grabbing distance. So good luck. Get yourself all... Spray yourself with some... Cover yourself in hand sanitizer or something, and... Go dip yourself in alcohol, and I'll be back.
The biggest victory we've ever had.
Yes.
I believe the biggest victory we've ever had.
No.
And I just want to thank everybody. Look, we have some really young ones are starting.
We're praying for you.
But I want to thank you, and I'm praying for you too. We're all praying because you know what?
He doesn't pray.
We're close to World War III. These incompetent...
Yeah, that's true. The only time you pray is when you're in danger of dying imminently. That's what true faith is really about. Fuck me. Fuck. It's, oh, fuck. Holy shit. Fuck. God damn it. Please fix this. Fuck. Yeah, that's what church is like normally.
Fools will start World War III. And 10 months sounds like a short period of time. They can do damage. Look what they've done to our country at the border. Look what millions of people are flowing into our
Go do your speech. Get the fuck out of there.
country. From prisons, from jails, from mental institutions. I love you all. Thank you very much.
On that note, crazy people are storming into our country. Murderers, Hannibal Lecter, coming into the country, walking straight up here, and hopefully drugs kill you before they do. Thank you. Love you guys. Love you, drug addicts, fucking hillbillies that are up in the Northeast for God knows what reason. You're this close to New York, and yet you don't know shit about... I don't know, but hopefully the crazy Mexican, Guatemalan, also Brazilian, and other countries you probably never even heard of, murderers and psychopaths, hopefully you die of an overdose before they get up here, if we're lucky at all. But we're going to save our country, and I love you, and I'm praying for you. And by praying, I mean... posting on Truth Social while I'm on the toilet, which is better than prayer. Better than prayer. Just saying. You just dropped the mic on the ground.
USA!
Gonna come and take it from you.
Thank you, everybody.
Just dropped it on the ground. An actual mic drop, but like a pitiful one, like, I pooped.
USA! USA! USA!
Somebody will get it. USA!
President
Like he totally mic dropped.
Trump, will you be using the name Ron DeSanctimonious tonight? The fact
It's retired.
Okay.
He just said, will I be using the name Ron DeSanctimonious? I said, that name is officially retired.
Thank you, sir.
Not your fire.
Well, there you go, President Trump.
Why? Because he kissed your ass?
Right there, answering that quick question I had about Ron DeSanctimonious. I mean, that's the one I wanted to know, and that's the one.
Well, I'm glad you figured it out. That was, I was waiting with bated breath. Yeah, you guys, you too, man. I'm so...
One that we got right there. So a great time. We're going to
so excited.
have to get back into the press van.
Yeah, probably. Or they're going to leave you.
President Trump giving Right Side Broadcasting Network that exclusive soundbite right there that we will...
That's great. And it's an exclusive shot of New Hampshireite's shoes.
We'll be, of course, showing you tonight as well. Looking for my camera guy. He's probably up there closer to President Trump right now.
You think?
Oh, or maybe he has left. I'm not sure where he's at, so I'll just follow the press team at this point on the way out.
4 more years! 4 more years! 4 more
So we'll get going this way as we just heard from President Trump that Ron DeSanctimonious is retired.
The name, not the guy.
That name is no longer what President Trump will use. So tonight we'll hear that, of course, on
super exciting. Dude, keep telling the same story over and over
stage
again.
In Rochester.
You're the perfect man to cover Donald Trump.
Pretty good stuff here in New Hampshire.
Yeah, check yourself. Make sure you don't say New Mexico.
President Trump leading.
I mean, I understand the terrain might confuse
in the polls, doing a great job in this state, in the Granite State.
Through everybody's shot, asshole. You're walking through everybody's
obviously
shot,
kicked some
asshole.
serious butt.
Yeah, just walk through everybody's shot. Fucking RSBN, no respect.
Iowa, and we'll see what he does as we head towards Rochester and we head back to the press van here with the Trump team. Once again, this is Right Side Broadcasting Network. Always great to have this kind of footage.
Yeah, it is. This is good stuff. Especially this part, not the shit inside, but this weird walkway past this thing, past the thrift shop. This is the kind of B-roll that makes careers.
You just really don't get.
No, I don't. On real news, you mean?
Especially at the mainstream networks, they want to.
Yeah, that's true. They do not usually blather while walking back to the van. I feel like we're all being gypped. When is Rachel Maddow going to give us a big meandering bullshit blather as she tries not to trip over frost on her way back to the van? It's sad. I wish this kind of programming was available on all channels. Yeah, this is good. Yeah, and at least you're not wasting any airtime with silence. You're at least able to just fill every second with pointless blather. Jesus.
I want to cover something like this because obviously they have been hiding the truth for years. But
the truth of what? That the press that follows Trump doesn't get to ride in the vehicle with him or refuses to because of the stench?
Now it's time for the truth to prevail.
Yes, the truth that they were going to rent this building because it was slightly better, but Color Time was doing all right. And then there's this chicken wing place over here, and the thrift shop was right next to the, they figured having the Trump headquarters right next to the thrift shop, better for everybody. Just a win-win.
And we know the truth will set you free.
From what? The press van?
All right, let's send it back to our coverage right now in Rochester. I'm Matthew Alvarez. Thank you so much.
Wait a minute. Why are you sending it back to them? No. They're just going to lie to us. They're already in Rochester. I want to see the entire fucking car ride. I want to see somebody who, you just shouldn't have eaten off the buffet and your tummy's getting a little rumbly and you got to pull over and the only thing that's down there is a come and go and you're like, I don't know if I should eat any of this, and then you really get a bad bag of fucking Funyuns and that you wanted a taste of your youth, but you forgot how bad they were for your gut, and then you're just trying to hide the fart that from the rest of the van, and you're like trying to roll down the windows and act like somebody else did it, and like that's the real programming. Come on now.
Thanks for joining us. Let's send it back to you.
Also, why are you out of breath? You've walked 16 feet. It's you know what it is? It's the New Hampshire altitude. I don't know if you've ever seen a map, but compared to Florida, we're really high up here. Like, we must be like 3,000 miles above sea level. If Key West is at sea level, New Hampshire must be like 3,000 miles above sea level due north. Whew, it's just hard to get your breath, you know what I mean? And it's just walking around here and stuff and trying not to fall over. Now, it could be the altitude and the lack of oxygen, or it could be just how fucking boring Trump is and how much effort it takes to pretend not to be bored. But hopefully we'll and scene. Good Lord. By the way, love you guys. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, Sports Show. It's HAL Sparks, Mega Worldwide. Now, Trump, he doesn't start for another like 45 minutes, and he's going to be fucking late. So maybe we'll grab onto the tail end of one of his other ones. We'll do a needle drop from Rochester. But before we do that, let's see, is this Pat's show? I don't know. This is on the Blaze, though. Okay, so this is, I don't know where the fuck this is. Because again, hi Todd and Aaron. I don't know. These are this is from the Blaze Studios. But apparently, there is a hot new update. Hot is hot news, people. On the Hunter Biden new details. Shocking. I'm excited. I want to be shocked. I do. New details revealed in Jan 6 DNC pipe bomb case. Oh, okay, it's the pipe bomb case. I'm ready to be shocked. I'll be shocked if it isn't Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think. I'm going to be more shocked by the end of this video than I'm going to have to go with Sylvester Stallone in Rambo 2. No, 3. Yeah, 3. Yeah, I mean, he was shocked in both, but I think 3 was the big one. You know, when they put him on the old bed spring mattress thing with all the fabric taken off of it, and then they hook the battery cables up to it. Remember that? I'm going to be that fucking shocked. And so are you, and so are we. So and I'm going to, when I get like enough of a charge built up, I'm going to scoot my feet across the carpet and touch you on the shoulder. No, I'm right at the base of your neck. That's where I'm going to touch you, right there. Like a dick. So let's hear it. This is the shocking the pipe bomb news. Let's hear it.
You have clearance from the tower there to...
Wait a minute. Who is that guy? Wait a minute. Nobody told me that future Unabombers of America are hosting a show on the Blaze. What the ever-loving incel shit is going on here? Good Lord. Who are you, Magneto? No, I'm not Magneto. My last name is Sparks. Get used to the idea.
Share some breaking news with our audience. What is it?
Yeah, break this news.
Yeah, if your audience doesn't know yet, they need to go read the latest on the Blaze from yours truly about the pipe bomb revelation. This was the Democratic National Committee pipe bomb on January 6th. There were 2 pipe bombs found. The first one was found just a few minutes before that initial famous Ray Epps breach that happened at about 12:53 p.m. Just moments before that, a passerby found a pipe bomb at the Republican National Committee.
Okay, passerby, right?
The RNC headquarters. And then just 5 or 10, maybe 15 minutes after that breach, there was another passerby who found another pipe bomb at the DNC, the Democratic National Committee.
No, it was a plainclothes police officer.
Committee headquarters. Now, for 3 solid years, Steve, the FBI, the ATF, the Metropolitan Police, and the United States Capitol Police have all kept from us this information about who it was that found that bomb at the DNC.
What difference does it make? It was found after the RNC. I would assume that the second one was found because they had plainclothes police officers and others walking around because they had just found a bomb at the RNC, right? You think within 10 minutes you had people walking down around there and they were doing their kind of protocol on shit? Right? Fuck me.
Turns out that the person who found that bomb was actually an undercover, plainclothes, Capitol Police officer.
So what?
Who they have portrayed for 3 years in all of these testimonies. You think about all the times they've been questioned in Senate and House hearings. Christopher Wray, what's going on with the bomb? This, that, and the other thing. They have always portrayed this person as a passerby.
No, they haven't. It never came up. Like somebody in the news maybe wrote that it was a passerby and they didn't feel the need to correct them because it was a plainclothes police officer and that there's video of this person, and that plainclothes police officer might, and this might shock the shit out of you, might do a lot of undercover and plainclothes work, so it doesn't really help if you know what his fucking face looks like. So they might want to just kind of downplay that, and it's not even necessary to the case itself. Also, it was the second fucking bomb found. So, and where were all the questions? Where were all these people like, was it really? Okay, who is this fucking person that found it? Like, where's the Republican, like, maybe one of them asked, who found these fucking things? Is this even real? Right.
They've never released until we did yesterday that this was an actual undercover Capitol Police officer. But then the story.
No, they released the footage. And you saw that it was a person they talked to the police officer. They didn't need to correct a record because there was no fucking record.
And this is what I got permission from the control room here to release on the.
The control room's giving him the go ahead.
Steve Day show today is that we now know all.
Dun, dun, dun. Wait for it. Oh, I can't wait. I'm just going to shock the shit out of me. I'm glad I'm wearing a cork.
So that the brand new, newly appointed assistant chief at the Capitol Police, who is in charge of intelligence and dignitary protection details, was at the time of January 6th pipe bomb findings, was the ground team supervisor of the ATF on that day.
Mm-hmm. They found both of the bombs, did they? Neither one of them went off. There was no loss of life. They informed everybody. So, and that person who was basically in line for that job, a couple of years later, got that job. What have they been doing since? They've been on vacation the whole time? Why is this news? Why the fuck? All right.
This is a huge, another piece of this connective tissues that we're finding here.
No, it isn't.
Here, the coincidences you can't.
It's not a coincidence. They've got a fucking hierarchy. They've got a structure. They got a ladder that people get promoted from one thing. There's a ground agent to supervisor to the person overseeing that's how this shit works. What the ever-loving fuck are you talking about? Of course they got that job. Was it the 3 other people up for the job? By the way, if there were 3 other people up for the job, how much you want to bet that the other 2 people that were that are up for that job were also involved in Capitol security that day in one way or another? Right? Would any of them been okay?
Make them up, Steve. Darren Beatty from Revolver News just released this morning an exhaustive analysis of.
Well, it's exhausting because it's stupid. And you're like, oh, God.
That video that we revealed yesterday through the blaze of that few moments of where this pipe bomb was found.
Yeah, the few moments where Glenn Beck said they finished their fucking lunch and made it sound like they sat for an hour and it was like 4 minutes.
And where this Capitol Police officer comes over to the Secret Service car, he announces that he's suddenly discovered this bomb. He goes around to the other side of the car. He goes over to a Metro Police car. By the time he finishes telling all the parties involved, sitting outside in the driveway outside of the DNC, the Secret Service and the Metro PD cop decide that they've got enough time to finish their sandwich before they get out and investigate what this Capitol Police officer has.
No, they didn't. They fucking phoned it in. And they can't do anything until the bomb squad gets there. So they called them. It took the bomb squad like 3 minutes to get there. They sealed off the road. That's all they can do. Also, if they hop out, maybe if it is a bomb, it's just going to fucking go off. This is just dumb.
Suddenly revealed to them.
What the yeah, all 3 minutes. Jesus Christ. By the way, if they finish their lunch and then call the police, that means the response time of the Capitol Police and the DC Police is fucking amazing. It makes it like 12 seconds. Oh my God. How incredible are the Capitol fucking Police that these guys waited to finish their fucking lunch and then called the police. They called the bomb squad and they called backup to seal the road, and those fuckers arrived in 12 seconds. I'm surprised they even got there that fast because the guy was talking with his mouth full.
And just, oh, by the way, the new Vice President-elect Kamala Harris is in the building. Oh, and the car that they were sitting.
Oh, by the way, Donald Trump was president. If anything, she was the Vice President-elect, but the sitting president of the United States, the overseer of the entire government, fish stinking from the head as it does. You might want to go like, what did Donald Trump want to put her life in danger by slowing the response time, by putting the absolute worst people on her duty at that point?
When they were told
they didn't, they did fine. It's just stupid.
About the bomb was only 15 feet from where the bomb was, and they showed no hurry, no panic, no. It seemed to be of minimal.
They were in the car. You couldn't even fucking see them. You could not even fucking see him. And they called it in, and he walked back around to watch anybody around it. A car pulled up. Like, we watched this fucking video. Tell me what they were doing while they were allegedly finishing their fucking lunch. And the only place I've seen this whole idea that they, quote, finished their lunch and then called for backup or did whatever, which is just bullshit, is from these assholes.
Concern to them when this message was delivered to them by this undercover officer.
Okay, the bigger question is that I'm concerned that members of the Capitol Police have control over time and space and are able to travel great distances from their stations or from their other positions in milliseconds. They're able to warp space-time. Apparently, the Capitol Police have warp drive at this point because it took them 12 seconds to arrive on the scene.
Which leaves you with only, as far as I can tell, Steve, two conclusions.
Yes. One, you polish your head with Crisco, and it's a great hair tonic. Two, you've learned that Glenn Beck thing of buttoning your shirt all the way up to your throat, and it still doesn't make you gangster.
One, the vice president needs better security, and
well, she has it now that Trump's not president.
Maybe a food taster. That clearly her security detail, her safety is not of their preeminent priority. If in the middle of an insurrection, the best piece of evidence for this not just being a riot, but an insurrection, the best piece of evidence for that would be planted pipe bombs, for example. Okay.
Also, for the record, you do realize they took her out the other side of the building, and there's no footage that they showed of the other side of the building, that she very well didn't leave in the vehicle that was on the side where the bomb was. They took her out another way. Period. So you don't know what the reaction for it was at all. And her detail came out, but they evacuated her the other direction. They didn't come out and put her in that black car and drive away. She's not in that footage when that truck leaves. They go to another position to remove her.
By somebody who was seeking to have a V for Vendetta moment, basically. All right. So that would be the best evidence for it. So not only did they not have a high priority, it seemed, on investigating for us the origins of these pipe bombs and who dropped them off and who's responsible for them and how they got there and who found them. That's always been kind of weird to me, because that's the best piece of evidence for their entire narrative, is following that chain of evidence, right? And so
yeah, it's interesting to me that they weren't in office at the time. Donald Trump was. And there was a lot of slow walking in the crucial hours around that. So
not only did not seem all that interested in following that chain of evidence, but they also didn't seem very interested in securing the vice president of the United States.
Yeah. Did you see her in that video? Did you see her when that vehicle left? No, you didn't, because they didn't bring her out the side where the building where the bomb was. And they can tell from its size what kind of impact it would have in general. It wasn't a nuke. It was a pipe bomb. Those have limited range, limited ability. They're mainly, shredders. They're usually full of nails, and they harm people. That's why they're mostly the kind of things that like mail bombers use and but it's not going to take down the fucking building, and you can evacuate her safely out the other direction, which is exactly what they fucking did. And you don't have to panic, so you have a bunch of cops running up and tinkering with it while some dude in the bushes sets it off.
In the face of the most overt act of this, if it were an insurrection, which is really an act of coordinated domestic terrorism, is what you just described. Okay.
Right. And look, I don't know why Marjorie Taylor Greene has not been brought before the committee. I don't know. Same gait, same shoes, same jacket. That would seem to be reason enough. Is there a reason why Republicans refuse to bring her even in for a deposition?
Okay. So there's that. That's one option, that her security detail does not have her safety and
or they do, because they took her out the other side of the building and she was never in danger, and they called it in immediately, and they blocked the street, which you clearly see they do in a timely fashion. They didn't get out of the car and race over and lick the fucking thing. And her detail heard about it, came out, checked it out, but removed her out the other side of the building, period.
As a preeminent priority.
What were they supposed to do? Sit on it, literally? Were they going to throw themselves on it and just wait?
Then there's the other option, which...
Okay, here's the other option.
They're trying to indict you for, basically. The other option is they know exactly where it came from, and it's what a coincidence that it just so happened to be one of the highest level members of law enforcement there just happened to find these. And why wouldn't they want to tell us?
That's not one of the highest. The undercover guy isn't the same fucking guy you're talking about. Okay. This is a great example of the kind of like weird goop that is in the prefrontal cortex of all maggots when they hear new information. Because it is clear right now that this motherfucker thinks that the undercover cop that found the second bomb and alerted the other police officers and the Secret Service so that they could remove the vice president out the other side of the fucking building and that they could call in people to cordon off the street and get pedestrians away and all that kind of stuff. That guy, that person who discovered the second incendiary device is the guy that he's talking about that coordinated security for all these things and got promoted recently. He thinks they're the same fucking person. Seriously, he thinks the guy who found the bomb is now the head of dignitary security. Listen to him explain this again.
That it just so happened to be one of the highest level
wait, back up.
Priority. Then there's the other option, which they're trying to indict you for. Basically, the other option is they know exactly where it came from, and it's what a coincidence that it just so happened to be one of the highest level members of law enforcement there just happened to find these. And why wouldn't they want to tell us this, Steve, and give this guy an award for foiling a plot? Against an insurrection, make him a national cause celeb, run him for Congress, maybe. Why? I mean, this would seem to be.
All right. First, again, the guy who found the bomb is not the guy who got the promotion. Secondly, the guy who found the bomb and spotted it, he didn't throw himself on it. He didn't defuse it. It's not a fucking action movie. That was his job, was to patrol the area in plain clothes. That was his job. That's what he does. What he did that day wasn't special. It was part and parcel to his job. I'm sure he got a medal or something for spotting it and doing good work or what have you. But he's not like the hero that found the bomb, because they already knew there was another one. Somebody else had found the other one and they were on the lookout for it. He was one of the people like, hey, can you make a buzz by there? Check the perimeter while you're walking around, be subtle about it in case this fucking lunatic actually planted one there too. But we just found a bomb at the RNC. Just do a walk of the perimeter, see what you see. That's do we all just have to like go back to zero? Do we all have to fucking pretend every day that we know nothing at all? Is there just this like, do they live under this fucking Men in Black flashy thing rule where they just, every time something comes up that doesn't go their way, we all just have to like default back to absolute naivete?
A heroic act, a Medal of Honor, Medal of Freedom. Why put your lamp under a bushel here, Steve? Shine it. You're a hero.
Well, actually, and this is a very interesting point. I just made this connection in my own mind this morning.
Jesus Christ. Well, that's easy to do when it's not very crowded.
Of the 4 agencies that were involved in this discovery, first of all, we had the Secret Service on site. We had the Metropolitan Police Department on site. We had of course, the ATF had to respond. The FBI had been lying to us for 4 years about the identity of this Capitol police officer. There's actually 5 agencies. Of these 5 agencies involved in...
What? They weren't lying to you about it. It's not it's immaterial.
In this pipe bomb discovery,
okay. Tell me the person who discovered the one at the DNC is an undercover cop who was dressed in plain clothes and also was the person who found it at the RNC and was dressed the exact same, and they were like, and it was clearly a setup because he was walking a block and a half between the RNC and the DNC and magically stumbled on both in a timely fashion. None of that's true. Good fucking God.
Investigation. There's only one of those agencies that is not subject to Freedom of Information Act requests, and that would be the United States Capitol Police. Interesting that he discovered that. This morning,
fucking difference does it make? If you got, he reported it to the Metro Police, and Secret Service. You could find out what the fuck happened from both of them. And also, there's a reason why the Capitol Police don't want you knowing who their undercover people are, because they're protecting the security of the fucking Capitol. If they're walking around dressed like tourists or dressed like locals, that's for a reason. It's like saying, it's like passing a law that, like, the DEA, when they go undercover, have to wear a pinwheel hat when they go undercover.
Received a personal message from
that's
one of
very
my
lucky, Steve. That's about as lucky as being an Antifa member from Salt Lake City, Utah, traveling thousands of miles to Washington, D.C., and you just happen to be there with your camera to capture the shooting, the murder of Ashley Babbitt, making your way from Salt Lake to D.C. through a sea, tens of thousands of people, and you just so happen to be there to capture the money shot of the entire event. A lot of lucky people.
Yeah, Ashley Babbitt wasn't one of them. How was he supposed to know she was going to be the one to go through that fucking window? Seriously, is the idea that like an Antifa guy from Denver is the one who coaxed her into punching a fellow maggot and then going through the window? What the fuck kind of MK Ultra nonsense is this?
Just kind of meandering around that day, Steve. Very fortunate people.
Well, yeah, I guess he was lucky to catch the moment when she fucked around and found out.
Exactly. I received a personal message from one of my Capitol Police sources this morning, and he told me that of all of the suspicious package and bomb scare notifications that he has both had to respond to and himself personally delivered to the department.
He's delivered explosive packages and bombs to the department? Yikes.
That he had never seen a more lackadaisical reaction to anything from either any of his colleagues at the Capitol Police or the complete nonchalant attitude.
Does he know that guy? Wouldn't that be your second question? Does your source, has he ever met the guy? How big is the fucking force in Capitol Police? Does he know the name of the dude?
That these officers had on the scene at the DNC. They did not even stop foot traffic from walking mere feet past that bomb.
Yes, they did.
No concern whatsoever.
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
they did. He wasn't sure what he had seen yet. He's like, I don't know if there's a package over there. It might be something. And then even when they immediately start panning the camera around, which they have access to, and you can see it goes to a fucking coffee cup turned over on one of the benches, but it doesn't show exactly where the bomb is at that point, and it may be very well around the fucking corner where you out of shot, where you cannot see that they are blocking traffic, that he has somebody else doing it.
The innocent and benign explanation for that.
Well, you always default to government incompetence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can we look at this again? Hold on one second. I'm going to go to you guys for just 1 second. And then, who was the, fuck, I know we have it in the chat somewhere. The footage of them looking for the bomb. I'm going to remember who it was that put that thing out there. We've looked at it once already. I'm going to find this shit. Yeah, I'll find it. But the footage itself wasn't Mike Lee, was it? I'm trying to remember who actually posted the fucking thing online. But does anybody remember CSL? Hold on, I'll look it up on here too. Let's see. DNC pipe bomb. It should be, I guess. Let's see. Let's see. Footage, maybe. Suspect video. It's Thomas Massey. That's who it was. Massey put this out. And yeah, hold on.
from Kentucky is recognized for 5 minutes.
I thank the chairman. Director Wray, in light of information provided to us about the FBI's investigation of the January 6th pipe bombs,
he's going to show
in an interview walking in front of the DNC, which is out of the.
Hold on, this is okay. Let's look at his description of this. This is Thomas Massie. He put this. FBI committee, Christopher Wray testifies in front of House Judiciary Committee. This is on, when was this? This is 6 months ago. This is when he put this footage out the first time. I don't know why it took forever for these dickheads.
Wearing a hat. They're walking in front of the DNC, which is out of the view on the right-hand side. You'll see
he's speeding up the footage, too.
See him come into view. He goes to one police car. He goes to another police car.
No, he doesn't. Do you see two police cars?
You'll see him come into view. He goes to one police car. He goes to another police car.
Nope. He goes to one window, and then he goes to the same window on the same car, the other window on the
holding
same
a
car.
backpack. He's got a mask on. He's talking to the police. And within a minute, they start scrambling. You'll see the camera turn to the pipe bomb, the location of the pipe bomb. By the way, that's, I believe the Metro police are now getting out of their car, and that's Vice President-elect's detail in the black SUV, I believe, parked about 30 feet from the pipe bomb, eating lunch. Okay, now we go over to the location.
Okay, by the way, the eating lunch part, finished their lunch bullshit is, insofar as I know, made up, finished their lunch from this eating lunch remark by Thomas Massie.
To the pipe bomb, the cameras are scrambling. It appears to me that that's not a coincidence, that the person with the backpack who walked by that bench and then went up to the police and the detail didn't do that accidentally. They had a purpose in mind, and that what transpired after that was the result of information that person gave to them. If that person,
yeah, one would think,
found the pipe bomb, would they be a suspect?
Well, again, I don't want to speculate about specific individuals. I will tell you that we have done thousands of interviews, reviewed something like 40,000 video files, of which this is one, assessed 500-something tips.
Have you interviewed that
the
person?
Devices. We have conducted all logical investigative steps and interviewed all logical individuals at this point.
Then you need, it's 900 days. You need to tell us what you found, because we're finding stuff you haven't released into the public. And
okay, that's it. That's his argument. There you go. That's based on the idea that, I guess, let's see. I don't know if there's the raw footage of it. Troy Nell say it, please note some of the photo. Antifa threat 316. Yeah, hold on. I'll look again for the Thomas. Yeah, just let's see. Thomas Massie. That's when he releases it into. But yeah, there you go. Thomas Massie bomb discovery is one thing that's coming up. Yeah, okay, so here's the raw footage of it. And we looked at this before. This is not sped up. This is in real time. Hold on, let me show you this again. So this is the footage. This is 1:05 p.m. on that day. And there are, again, while there's shit going down at the Capitol, but the vice president is over at the DNC headquarters watching how this shit is going down. Luckily, they didn't have to evacuate her the way they had to do Pence and all that shit. And so this is, by the way, the camera angle on this, can I just say, like, at no point there's the guy, he walks up to the window, and then he talks to them for a second. He goes, guys, I think there's a bomb here. It might be nothing. It might be another fake. I don't know. I know we just heard from the RNC, but it looks like a similar thing. He walks around to the other side of the vehicle and says the same thing, kind of playing it down, just like acting like he's asking directions or some shit like that. But the idea that he doesn't like bolt to the car and start screaming, bomb, bomb, get down is just fucking retarded. Pardon the R. But it's just stupid. And then at this point, he goes back over there and he lets the Secret Service know. He's like, I just told them, I think I spotted a device along those lines, whatever the protocol is to react normally. They've obviously started talking to people immediately. He's not running out, and scrambling people out, because again, that could trigger the bomb. That could get somebody to actually trigger the bomb. Okay, that's somebody like actively doing that. Okay, it's just ridiculous. Yeah, just get down. Get to the chopper. Like that's what they expect. It's just fucking stupid. And then so they here it's how much time? It's a minute later. Minute and a half later, they've already made a call. Clearly, they start getting out. We'll jump forward a little bit to 107. They leave the vehicle. And right over here. By the way, can I just say for the record, the assumption is they didn't stop foot traffic. They didn't. Okay, the only people we saw crossed right here. Yeah, they crossed right there, and then we don't see anybody else go past that point until the cars start rushing up. So these folks are clearing in this couple seconds. Also, they very well could be on the team, as it were, because they're around this building. I don't know what the walking traffic is like around the DNC on the day of the fucking Jan 6 insurrection, right? So we don't, past this point, we don't know if they've got, because they have another cop that shows up, comes walking in. That person could have been just around the corner and just started pushing people away and telling them not to cross the street. So as they continue on this thing, then he's continuing to talk to them. This cop gets out. They start wandering around. They tell the detail, and there is no other person around in our vision in this. This car drives by, but they're waving people through. It's driving fairly fast. So this car comes through. It's on the other side of the street. Then these folks come up, and then by that time, there are cops on the corner. The cops on the street, and they are. Like, this is where they start brooming people out. And this is where they see, again, this is a coffee cup. That's the only thing this thing centers in on. So it's looking around for what the fuck he's talking about. And it's the idea that it's down under here because we can't see it from this footage, right? All we can see is the coffee cup, and then maybe there's something under, maybe there's a backpack or something under there, but the idea is that it could just be suspicious package, right? Their issue is that somehow nobody reacted, or they didn't react fast enough, or they didn't react in a panicked fashion enough. So they look over here. This is the camera scanning around while these guys are. And again, what are these guys supposed to do? What are you asking for? Again, I don't want to hear what your policy is. I want to hear how you're going to implement it. What the fuck does it mean when you're going to, when you're implementing a policy? And the idea that regular beat cops or Secret Service are going to hear that there's an explosive in the area nearby that is an anti-personnel explosive, an IED, a pipe bomb, right? That is in range of them. It's about 30 feet away. They're outside of its effective range for the most part, but they've got to stay clear of it. That's very well why they might be walking around to the other side of their car, whatever. And again, we don't even see where it is. Let's just assume it's either here or it's over in here, or even it's around the corner over here. At this point, we don't know. They haven't shown us the fucking thing. The only thing we've seen is a coffee cup. So this whole area where these folks are, those folks were over here, this whole area is cleared out. Insofar as we can see right here, and we'll see if anybody else walks in. There's the whole corner. There's nobody on that corner. Nobody there. These two folks are crossing the street, and then they just start. This is when these guys start, like, looking at the area and talking about it. And then a moment later, they start kind of directing people to move through quickly. Let's see where these people go. Because again, I don't even know if it's around the fucking corner. So they're walking down this way to take a look at it. They're definitely, she's not coming out, right? I don't think we saw the evacuation of the vice president when we looked at this last time. But so these guys walk over, they say something, they walk people away, and then they start blocking the road. Then you get more cops over there. They start showing up. These guys are walking around. And here comes this police officer. Okay, we don't see where it comes in because the camera's panned back over here. Okay, so she doesn't leave through this way. She's not in the vehicle. So they're going around to the other side of the fucking building to get her out of there. This is clear. They didn't leave her there. Nobody says they left her there. Nobody assumed that they would fucking leave her there. That's just dumb. What they didn't do, and by the way, that might have even been the exit point at all, right? Yes, I did this before, but apparently it's worth covering again. And I'm speeding through it, so because we covered it last time. And then once that cleared out, they move all the people who are not, yeah. And then they're pointing at something down there. I don't know what they're just like trying to say. Where is it? It's not that. I don't see anything there. Is that? I mean, if that's it, which it isn't, it's no big deal. If it's in there, or there's some talk about it's in there, or they're not even quite sure. You know, they weren't abundantly clear as to where it was. It's not there. That's the fucking laser thing for the gate. And they're just clearing people out. So again, I don't know what in the hell this is supposed to mean. Does anybody in any of this shit? Oops, sorry about that. Why is this news?
Is that where we have to start? But look, we're so far past that one with regards to January 6th, it doesn't make any sense. And then Steve, just the breaking information I gave you about this new assistant chief at the Capitol.
Yeah, that's not breaking news. Nobody gives a shit.
The other connective tissue is not only is he head of intelligence, not only was he there overseeing the ATF's response to these pipe bombs on the day, but he is also now the head of the Capitol Police Dignitary Protection Detail, which folds right back into our initial story about Nancy Pelosi's head of security, who perjured himself in the Oath Keepers trial. This new guy, is now this officer, David Lazarus's boss.
Wait, the guy, yeah, because he still has his job. Also, he didn't perjure himself. I don't know what that effect is. Yeah, I'm going to need a more direct reference than he just perjured himself, because you guys think what it doesn't match. That's not the same thing. That's not how perjury works.
So they gave him a promotion. Huh.
Not the guy who found the fucking bomb.
Then why didn't they promote him as a hero? Why are we just now hearing about him foiling the great evidence of this?
All right, this is the moment where this asshole knows that this guy is confusing the people involved. He's realized this just now. He's realized that this guy is talking about it. He's mixed up the facts of this, and he's not gonna fix it.
It's domestic terror plot and insurrection. Why are we just now hearing about it?
It's not not to be confused with the guy who discovered the bomb.
There we go. There we go. Was I right? He fucking spotted it, and I to give him credit, he's trying to straighten him out.
It's not not to be confused with the guy who discovered the bomb.
Thank you.
Capitol officer, but the guy.
Thank you for correcting my entire points inversion of the reality. It took him this fucking long, 9 minutes into an 11 and 42 minute fucking clip, and they posted this again. I did not pull this clip from the whole show. I didn't go in there and grab 11 minutes and 42 seconds of this whole fucking hour that they did and go, look at these assholes. They posted this clip in this length with this content, all of it. This is them. Just my conscience is clear.
Who came over from ATF to now be assistant chief at Capitol Police over intelligence and dignitary protection.
Final thing here. I mean, you have been all along.
Again, he basically, this guy just realized, look at the look on his face. He's like, this motherfucker he just shit a hole in my whole conspiracy theory because he misunderstood the root of the conspiracy I was trying to create and inserted his own dipshit conspiracy that doesn't fit the facts that I said. And he was selling it the whole time, and I just realized it. Fuck. Look at him. That's exactly what happened.
And that's why we respect you. You've been very cautious about this. You're not eager.
She's unlike you. What do you mean? Cautious? How cautious could you be when you haphazardly discuss the facts of a case with a dipshit like you and let you run roughshod over the whole thing?
To jump to affirm one narrative or the other. There have been times you've actually pushed back on some of people on our own side and said, nah, there's some...
Like just now? Nah, you're actually dumb.
There's some bad actors here and some people that probably deserve to be punished, okay? But you're just fine with, you're just following the truth here.
Yeah, that's all he's doing. He's just following the truth. And apparently it's led him to smack dab into one of your dumbest lies yet. Look how sad you made him. Look at him. You ruined his day. This was his breaking story. And right now, he's having a crisis. Look at him. He's going, fuck. I had a piece of what I thought was breaking news, and I had to bring it on the Blaze. And they sat me down because I was in a fucking hurry. I couldn't wait till tomorrow morning and just do it on somebody else's show. I had to rush right out. Glenn told me, get this out on the air right away. And I said, nope. I want to wait till I can be on Stu's show because Stu learned from you how to shut the fuck up. And so I had to just jump in this seat and listen to this fucking dipshit. Who looks like the gnarly, overly sensitive, violent kid in some sort of after-school special, and he gets my whole conspiracy backwards and fucks the whole breaking news. But I want to go home.
So this latest piece of evidence, what does it tell you?
Well, if you were listening at the beginning, you would know. And you wouldn't have made him feel like a dipshit.
I got about 2 minutes.
Yeah. Well, you had 9 minutes and 51 seconds, and you blew it.
Yeah, this is confirming what so many of us have been suspicious of all along, and what we have been building the evidence of is, I believe that leadership in the Capitol Police, leadership. I'm not talking about the frontline officers.
That guy that allegedly found the pipe bomb and then talked to the Metro Police and talked to the Secret Service, all those guys are frontline. Every guy in that video that you're showing, that you're saying dicked around, ate their lunch, fucked around, didn't call for help, didn't do their goddamn job, all that stuff. Like, that's who the fuck you think the top of the hierarchy are parked outside the fucking DNC headquarters on Jan 6th, you dumbass? Of course you're saying the rank and file are shit. Don't back out now. You can't back the blue unless you actually back the fucking blue.
Saw the fear in their face. I saw, and of course I've interviewed dozens of them who believe that they were set up that day by their own leadership. And now we are beginning to discover the evidence of just how corrupt and how involved the Capitol Police leadership were in what took place that day and what was allowed.
What? All right, hold on. Is your explanation of what happened on that day that the Capitol leadership made these guys slow walk shit? That they were a minute to 90 seconds slower on their response to this fucking thing because Capitol leadership, like they were like, I think like he's got a fucking one of those like throat microphones on both sides of his esophagus where they can hear him talking even if he's whispering, and he's like, see a pipe bomb. And they're like, stand down, dick around for 2 minutes, let them finish their lunch. Like, these guys responded to it. They responded to it based on the threat that they saw and what they were hearing over the radio or what they were getting from the RNC site. They clearly knew about it at that point. They were on the lookout for it. He did a walk of the perimeter. He saw something. They started reacting to it. They're like, yep, I think we got something over here. We're going to check it out. We need to, go easy because we don't know if somebody's going to try and set these fucking things off. We don't know if there's others. All the stuff you deal with when there's somebody who's planted multiple fucking bombs.
To transpire. I'm not saying they planned it, but
Jesus Christ. Just go ahead and say they planned it, asshole. Why don't you just 9/11 was an inside job. America had it coming. Just go for broke. Just like it was all an inside job. Trump was president, but Nancy Pelosi was running things. This, fucking like Trump's president now and is running everything except the bad stuff, and Biden's doing all the bad things that you don't like about government, and Trump's running his own fucking military force. He's the one bombing the Houthis, but Biden's the one letting the World Economic Forum do a great reset. Just fucking dive in because it's all nonsense. If you're gonna I think it was Winston Churchill who said, if you're eating a shit sandwich, keep biting.
I am on the they allowed it to happen camp.
They allowed what to happen? Allowed what to happen? Because if maggots don't freak out and attack police officers and storm up the Capitol steps and wearing body armor and fucking helmets and carrying hornet spray and bear spray and having guns and knives on them, multiple people had, fucking Ashley Babbitt had a knife and a backpack with God knows what in it. They built a fucking gallows. Let it happen? Why would there be anything for them to let happen? If maggots didn't want to attack the Capitol, if maggots didn't want to lose their shit and scream hang Mike Pence and brag about they were there in the Capitol to shoot Nancy Pelosi in the fucking head, why did they need somebody to goose them?
Seems like at the very least now, some people went there with bad intentions.
Really? Well, clearly you mean Antifa.
And anticipating that some people were going there with bad intentions.
Gee, what was your first clue? The fucking Proud Boys and maggots that came there in military formation that were all wearing the same fucking outfit, that they had fucking military gear on, they had body armor, they had guns in their truck. One of the guys who went to get a fucking gun died of a heart attack in the fucking truck. Yeah. What do you think? Come show up, it'll be wild. And if you don't fight for our country, we're not going to have a country left. You're going to have to be strong.
The powers that be, anticipating that was going to happen, thought never let a good crisis go to waste. That seems to be at least what happened here.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. That's what Nancy Pelosi, why would Nancy Pelosi and everybody there not want to just keep stronger barricades up? You know, because they thought these maggots are actually going to go through with this shit. They were like, we could put stronger barriers up and a couple more cops or whatever, but we don't want it to look too offensive or whatever. And we'll just let them in. And maybe if we're lucky, they'll get to Pence before they get to Pelosi. And then we can open fire. What are you talking about?
No. At the very least. And that's exactly where my investigations continue to take me, is to that.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I've seen what this asshole has written, and I've seen like this presentation of this. That doesn't continue to drive you in that direction. It doesn't. There is no fucking breadcrumb from that video to this dude getting a fucking promotion that leads to a conclusion based on what happened on January 6th. People who worked on that day and risked their lives and did all kinds of shit, or were good at making sure it didn't get any worse than it did, and the fact that it was a failed insurrection, that they were unsuccessful. There's a lot of reason for a lot of people to get fucking promotions from the job they did that day in reaction to what was going on that didn't require, their response did not require a violent impact on the people that came there to attack the Capitol. They didn't have to open fire. They didn't have to, kill more people in this process. The fact that only one person died of an offensive wound, a defensive wound, I would argue, is a fucking miracle considering what these assholes were trying. There were several moments where the police were like, we have a decision. We could pull back or we could shoot some of these dumb motherfuckers. But there's so many of them that we'll be out of ammo, and there'll be 25, 30 dead motherfuckers and about 1,000 of them after that will just keep pouring through. And then we're dead and other people are dead. And, and this will be horrifying. If we could just hold them and treat this like a fucking football game and hold these guys back until we can divert them to other places, we will save lives, the lives of these idiots and ourselves. The restraint on that day is fucking legendary. That's why these people got promotions.
That very conclusion is that it doesn't matter whether all of these disparate groups were organized and were communicating with each other.
Yeah, it does. You mean the ATF and the FBI and the Capitol Police and the Metro Police? Of course they are, you dumb motherfucker. The question is, were groups of maggots, the Proud Boys, the fucking Oath Keepers, these 3%ers, and these neo-Christic psychopaths that rode there on a bunch of buses paid for by Charlie Kirk and Ginny Thomas, if those motherfuckers were coordinating, and they were, that's why they're going to jail for such long periods of time.
The Oath Keepers, the Proud Boys, the 3%ers, this, that, and the other militia. Doesn't matter. Whatever.
Yeah, it does. It fucking does matter, because that's what makes it an active sedition. Because if these groups are coordinating, and they were, and any one of those groups was coordinating with Steve Bannon and Mark Meadows and Roger Stone at the Capitol, and they fucking were, then the whole thing was a planned military exercise with the bodies of the other maggots as effectively human shields for these, weekend warrior dickheads to try and get close to the targets, specifically Pence, Pelosi, and members of Congress that they wanted to get rid of. Of course it matters.
These individual groups' motivations were, at the end of the day, once they were there with the intel that the Capitol Police had and did not pass along, they allowed this thing to form and take shape as it became the event that we all know of as the worst day in American history, where we almost lost our democracy.
Okay, all like Glenn Beck style shitty sarcasm aside, the plan ultimately was in response to divert these assholes out the exits, or turn them around and walk them back out after they said their piece, after everybody was safe. So they held the wall and they held the doors until everybody could be cleared, including the vice president and the senators and the members of Congress and their staffs, got them to safe places, and fucking the Josh Hollies of the world were fucking kicking up their step, trying to get away from these dickheads. And then once they were safe, and they were in an area where there was absolutely no way that these dickheads could get to them because of the labyrinth of hallways and the layout of the fucking Capitol. At that time, the cops started going, come on in, go this way. Yeah, through this door. Hey, we'll open the door for you. Have fun. Oh, yeah, take a look at the thing. I don't know if you guys have ever been here. Yeah, nice to meet you. Up that way. Yeah, sure. Go through these stairs right there and down that hallway. Absolutely. Yeah, after you. Yeah, and the ones that had already broken through a fucking window, they ended up in the the Senate chamber, which, most of this was being done on the other side. So they ran them over to the, that's why they knew people were safe. So these dickheads could get into that well because nobody was going to fucking be there. Or sorry, vice versa. House, they ran them over to the House because they were originally in the Senate, and that's where these people ran to, and they knew it was empty. So they could, as much as they wanted to stop them, it meant killing them or beating the fuck out of them. And since there were dozens of people around, and there were more wandering assholes in body armor than there were cops that day, if they'd have started taking down the Jacob Chesneys of the world, then everybody would have gotten violent inside the Capitol, and they did everything they could to try and divert that. It's where you had the cop going, yeah, come this way, yeah, walk down this way. He's guiding these people up a flight of stairs and down this way, and they're like, look at him, he's helping them in. And you're like, motherfucker, the door he kept them from going through was where everybody was hiding. He was a fucking genius, and these dough-headed motherfuckers. No wonder everybody thinks that, Ray Epps whispered in one of their ears and they were able to, it caused them to attack. Because anybody goes, this way, they're like, for fuck's sake. Again, I am so grateful every single day that the people that planned this thing and the people involved in it were all, to a person, fucking stupid. Just like the dumbest motherfucker that ever lived.
Steve, great stuff. You're doing great work, man. Keep it up.
No, it's a waste of time. You're an idiot, and this is silly, and it wasn't breaking news, and I'm very disappointed. But it allowed me to kind of clamor about things. I don't know. I'm not doing a show tomorrow, because I got the jam. So I think I'm gonna do a couple more things, and I just want to check in on something, if I will. It is, let's see, it's on YouTube. Oh, thanks. Thanks. I've tried. Is the Laconia thing, is it up? I don't know. Let's see. I'll try and see if I can find it. Trump Laconia. Oh, quit it. I'll not allow, but whatever. Let's see. Trump Laconia, New Hampshire. Whatever. We'll see if that's in there. Just in Trump heckled during campaign stop. Oh, that's a day ago. Rochester. The live one. Okay, live.
In the southeast of
this motherfucker. President Trump.
The United States will let us know, and I will toss it then to President Trump, unless we do get Brian Glenn in Laconia. Meantime, we are here because we do know that the watch party will be here tomorrow night as we're in the...
Oh, God. I got to say, I fucking pity this idiot. I don't know why I do, because he works for RSBN. But Jesus Christ, the just jibber jabber, hours after hours, just just filling fucking time. Just what kind of viewership do they have where if they just stop talking for a couple of seconds, everybody's just gone? Like they're like, hey, oh, words stop coming out of his mouth. I'm going back to sleep. Is this the kind of excitement that Trump has? I feel like, couldn't they just, if Trump has as much excitement about, from his crowd in the country, much less New Hampshire, I would think that you could just play like a single drum beat, right? You like just boom, boom, with the whole Trump expected to speak soon. And they'd every fucking beat, they'd be like, oh, here it comes. Oh, here it comes. Oh, here it comes. Like, so I'm not kidding. Like, these motherfuckers would just rivet, and almost like a startle with every beat. Just, oh, there it is. Oh, God. I do not usually do over 3 hours, but I usually have a show tomorrow. So, on Tuesdays, but I can't because I have the jam tomorrow. Good Lord. Yes. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting other requests on my internet on my other computer while the Instagram is running. It's just the kind of stuff I do. This motherfucker is still talking. He's still talking. I bet you I could go get a cat and come back and this motherfucker will still be talking. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think the chances are that I can go get a cat and be back before this asshole stops talking and Trump comes on stage when he's supposed to be on 10 minutes ago? Trump is 10 minutes late right now. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, should we look at, while I go get it, here's the chat room, just so you can see what the fuck these guys are talking about. Good Lord. And by the way, and don't take for granted that any of these people are actual Americans, actually vote, any of that shit. I'll be back with a cat in just a moment. It's a boy. It's a boy. Look at this. It's a boy. It's Chipper. He's exhausted. He was asleep. He was really asleep, too. It was kind of rude. Picked him up. He fell asleep on my chest earlier, and he was like biting me if I tried to get up. So I was like, I got shit to do, dude. And he was like laying on my chest. He's a big boy. He's a big boy. He's a big boy. Look at you. Look at the big boy. Look at that. He's like, I was out. Yeah. Hi, buddy. Hi. I'll go put you on the couch. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have waken you up with that. Now, let's see if I was right. Let's see. All right. I went and got a cat, brought him down, pet him, and brought him up. And let's see. Yep. This asshole is still talking. Still nothing. Just
of hope and light for the entire world. And
oh my God.
And Javier Milei in Argentina knows it. Viktor Orban of Hungary.
Wait, Trump
as do a number of other people.
Hold on.
For freedom, for family, friends, and for the American way. And the American way is interesting because for
It is interesting.
Years has been the beacon of hope and
oh, good. Okay, at least the American way. No, right. Thank God. It
light for the entire world, and the people know it. And Javier Milei in Argentina knows it. Viktor Orban of Hungary, he knows it. As do a number of other people. I mean, Boris Johnson, even the other day, said the world was more stable with 45 in office. So
What? Do you remember COVID? What in the world?
In 2016, what an awesome day that was. I remember I was reporting for a local station at that time.
It's the first time I ever really came.
And I got the lovely assignment, the great assignment of covering a watch party for President Trump.
And you did so well that it's led to this.
And at that watch party, the local GOP was there, and they were watching the numbers come in. And man, do you guys remember what that was like?
Yeah, Trump was shocked as shit.
When everybody was cheering and high-fiving and almost in disbelief at the fact that, how great the numbers were. But it was because we saw what the country was doing. This wasn't just in some poll or in it was in the vote, but it was also in the fact that you saw boots on the ground. You saw the people through Right Side Broadcasting Network and various media outlets, the amount of people that were saying, I'm voting for President Donald Trump, and then he wins my home state, the Keystone State in Pennsylvania. He wins Georgia. He wins Nevada.
Yeah, and he would go on to lose them later.
He wins Michigan. He wins Arizona. And then all of them
get on with it.
It was real. It takes a lot of courage to do what we're doing on the right side of things and the right side of history.
Jesus Christ.
So if we would just want...
no. Are they cheering in the background? Or somebody's leaving. Okay. By the way, teensy little room, low ceiling, couple hundred people, smaller than probably his group that he went and visited. This is that's the Jan 6 footage. And this fucking shit. We saw this guy. And then, this is, we don't need that. No. Yeah. How late is he now? He's 15 minutes late, which is nothing for fucking him. Like, at this point, I gotta say, like, I would love to stay on until he comes on, but it'll be my whole goddamn evening. And there's no guarantee he won't show up late by an hour. I tell you what I'm going to do is, this will be a new thing. Hold on. Let me go back to the chat room so I can see you guys. Here's what I'm going to try to do, and see if I can ask CSL to pull this for me or whatever. I'm going to find a way. I mean, I can do it too, CSL. Just give me the link or however to do it. But to download this fucking speech, I'm going to sneeze. Hold on. I'm allergic to even having to talk about this. Asshole. But I'm going to download this speech, right? And pull clips from it rather than us having to watch it live, because it's a waste of everyone's time, because we know the only thing he's going to say differently from speech to speech, it's always going to be the same bullshit. But the only thing he's going to say, that's different at all. Hold on. Mine always come in threes. That he's going, like, the only thing that varies from speech to speech is his flubs, is his fuck-ups, is where he gets wandering and says the wrong thing. Everything else is the exact same. Like, when he gets into muscle memory, we've heard it a dozen times, maybe several dozen times. He says the same shit all the time. But there are times when he fucks up and gets lost, and that's the stuff that's kind of hilarious and worth watching. So what I'll do is I'll pull that, down and kind of sift through it on my own during my drive to LA. And then I'll cut little pieces of it together, or I'll make little timestamps like I did with the last one, so we don't have to go through the whole fucking thing, because it's the good Lord. If it mattered, it was a giant crowd or some shit. Are they finally coming in? Hold on, let's see if he's let this motherfucker finally, I mean, they're holding their phones up, so it looks like it. Hold on. I had to just say that, didn't I? All right, I'm only doing 5 minutes. Shut the fuck up. Just get on with it. There he is. Hey, wow. Wow. Look at all these, like, it's the same people that were at the office. The people who were at his his headquarters, his New Hampshire headquarters, it's the same fucking people. They drove a half hour over and they're there. This isn't, he didn't find a bigger fucking venue. Hold on. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's the same shit. So look at them. They're all holding the phone. Look how small this room is. These are the same motherfuckers. These are the same people who were at the office. They left there and got here before he did. So because he had to go to the hotel and do a line of fucking Adderall and Sudafed to even be up for doing this shit. And he's gonna go, wow, and look at him fucking leaning like a gibbon. He's just doing this like he was doing. It looked like he was doing a Stevie Wonder, and that's just on purpose. So weird, so fucking weird. And he just stands over there while the song plays. Please tell me the room is singing it because they. Oh my God, and it's the big flourish. I got to tell you, this is getting more and more like Branch Davidians. Has anybody watched on Netflix? Have you watched the Waco documentary? There's so many parallels, including like how blazingly full of shit David Koresh was. But this, that they had like a rock band thing that they would play music, and he hired a drummer so they could have music for their weird little cultish Christian shows or whatever. And it just got lamer and lamer as time went on, and more gross.
Crowded place. And I just visited some overflow rooms, and you're not in an overflow room, but this is crowded, and outside you got a lot of people, but...
Oh my God, I just visited some overflow rooms. No, you did not.
That's like a poll, right? That's like taking a poll when you get right down.
Yeah, when you get right down to it, the poll is like when I see the same people that were here the last time I was here and no more, that's like a poll. And when you see fewer people and tinier rooms and I have to travel to everywhere because none of them will travel to me, that's like a poll.
So thank you very much. And hello, New Hampshire. We are really going to rock in New Hampshire, and we're going to have a little fun tonight. And... we can give you, this is the last speech. Think of it. It's a little sad, but we'll be back a lot because we're going to get your energy prices down. We're going to get you energy down by, I would say.
Get you energy down?
I would say a solid 50% within 1 year.
No, you won't.
I promise.
Yeah, you can't keep that promise. That's just silly.
Tomorrow is the day that each and every one of you is going to cast the most important vote of your entire life. This is
it's the primary. Settle the fuck down.
It's a very, very important vote.
If Nikki Haley beats me, I'm done.
When you step into that voting booth, you're going to be signaling that we want crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of...
No, that's a November vote. This is between you and Nikki Haley right now. If they step into there tomorrow, they're voting between you and Nikki Haley, dum-dum. I mean, it's bad enough when you think Nikki Haley is Nancy Pelosi. It's even worse when you think she's Joe Biden. I mean, stand them next to each other. Even I could tell them apart.
Country, we got to get him out. His radical left lunatics, the entire sick political establishment in our nation's capital. We're going to do things, and we're going to do things right. We're going to bring our country back. With your vote, you're going to put Crooked Joe and his protectors on notice that we are coming in November. We're coming to take over the beautiful, beautiful White House, and we're going to run the country the way it's supposed to be run, not the way it's being run right now.
Not the way it's being run right now.
The corrupt Washington swamp has done everything in its power to take away your voice. And Tuesday, I believe that New Hampshire will be I would say, the place on earth for that period of time will
Well, it is a place on Earth, and this is a period of time, so, okay.
Speak the loudest of any other place. You know, we just got back from a beautiful, beautiful state, Iowa, and the expectations were good, and we exceeded them by a lot.
No, you didn't. Your percentage was up because the number of people that showed up were down by almost half.
By a lot. We set records. It was actually a record in the history of the state. That was a record for what?
Well, if you don't count people who ran unopposed. Of all the people that had to have a primary because they were only marginally popular compared to the fact that they had already been in office, including George H.W. Bush, who didn't even have to run. They got 100%. They didn't even have to.
We were doing, and
we found liquid corn in our
everybody was a little bit surprised. They thought we were going to win by a lot, but we won by
a lot
stuff. Nobody has done better, and we're going to do that.
Well, everybody who's run unopposed has done better because they didn't even have to have a primary because they were popular enough in their own party, either as a vice president or as a president, that they just didn't have to do this shit again. You were already president, dum-dum.
Here, I believe we're going to do that here. Now, you do have to do one thing. You have to get the Democrats stop voting in a Republican primary.
Dude, it's tomorrow. Shut the fuck up. You can't change anything. Like, this is not going to happen.
What's that all about? You know?
It's what's it all about? Voting. Let's put a stop to it all.
What that is, that's a weak governor. That's a weak governor.
Why? It's how the state's been run forever.
Governor that would allow that. Democrats are not supposed to be voting in Republican primaries. Do we agree?
But Republicans vote in Democratic primaries where they can switch over, or parties can vote across them in other states. What are you bitching about?
So anyway, but get out and vote. And, you know, I spent a lot of time in Iowa saying this. We had...
Yes. The same thing every time.
Very big polls, just like we do now. We just got some in, the fantastic polls. But assume you're one down, please, okay? And get out of bed and just get to vote. Grab your neighbor, grab everybody. You gotta go out because we have to win by big margins. And the reason we have to do that, Al, very simple. You know what the reason is in November? We have to send the signal that we're not playing games. This country has gone to hell.
Yeah, dude, you're still only going to be at 50% or less. Even if you beat your next opponent by a lot, you're still losing half the party.
This country has gone to hell.
No, it really hasn't, actually. I mean, especially compared to other countries that are having a really rough time. We all went through COVID, and somehow we're doing a lot better than everybody else.
We have people pouring in our borders. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Nobody knows where they're from.
Well, they're obviously from the local water park.
Unvetted.
They're from the human well.
Unchecked.
Well, again, of course they're being checked, or you wouldn't even know they were here.
Terrible thing is happening to our country, and you have to get out in numbers, even if you think we're going to win big, and I think we are, but you're going to have to show it, and we want to have that so that come November, we're going to...
He's like, you got to bring somebody with you, because if it's just this crowd, I'm fucked.
Be in a position where people are not, and we have to stop the cheating. We're going to stop the cheating. You know,
how are you going to stop the cheating if you couldn't stop it when you were president and you're not president anymore, and the person that you think is cheating is already in control of everything? He runs the actual fucking government. How do you... Oh, right, because there was no cheating and you're just full of shit, and this is just an excuse for when you lose.
The one way you know you win is when you swamp them.
Excuse me, no, there's a totally different thing. You have to slab it, I think is the phrase, right? That's the whole thing? Hold on, let me see if I can get it to wake up.
We have to slab it.
There you go.
Not drain the swamp, build up the swamp in this case. Tomorrow we're going to win New Hampshire, and then we're going to defeat crooked Joe Biden.
No, you still have other states, I'm just saying, and no, you're not.
And we are going to make America great again.
Good night. That's it. Just leave it there. Now, the room is small. Shut the fuck up. And go shake hands with people. Stop it. Just stop. If you have any fucking brains at all, stop right there. I'm not giving him any tips. He's not going to do it. But if he had any fucking brains at all, he would go. And with that, I'm gonna. You guys know my point of view, or you wouldn't be here. I recognize a lot of people, so I'd like to just talk to you guys individually. So I'm gonna go through the crowd and shake hands and meet everybody here, and I want to meet a lot of you lovely folks. So thank you very much, and then off you go.
Okay.
Nope, right back to the teleprompter.
And thank you. Thank you very much. And if you need information or anything, nh.donaldjtrump.com, right? nh.donaldjtrump.com. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So every day, yeah, thank you very much. That was handled very quickly. By the way, that was handled in record time, I think. Thank you.
What was handled? Somebody just being extra awesome?
Good job. Good job back there.
Good job back there with the getting rid of the people who know you suck.
Thank you very much. Every day the Republican Party is becoming more and more unified.
Yeah, I could tell. Those were Haley voters.
Thank you very much. That was a good job. Boy, that was quick. That took about 9 seconds.
It sounds like it's still going on. Well, I will say this. It's not that big a room. So it's not like they had to, there was a lot of walking time from the door to them and them to the door. Just saying, it's about 9 feet tops, even if they walked across the room from that way.
Thank you. Every day, the Republican Party is becoming more and more unified, and
yeah, go back to that point. We missed it.
It is, and you see what happened. I mean, we had a very good competitor, Ron, as you know, Ron DeSantis, and he fought hard and he fought well, and now we have one left. We started off with, really, if you add some Democrats into it, we started off with 13, and now we're down to 2 people. And I think
you and Nancy Pelosi.
One person will be gone probably tomorrow, and the other one will be gone in November. But now is the time for the Republican Party to come together.
Wait a minute. You're talking about the Democrat or the Republican primaries. That's you guys. She'll be gone tomorrow, and you'll be gone in November. Cool.
We have to unify. That's why I'm delighted to be joined today by a number of outstanding leaders, big leaders, powerful leaders, greatly respected leaders.
Big, sweaty, nipples as hard as diamonds, big foreheads, all of them, piercing eyes, and full bowels.
And they're also unbelievable competitors. And we're all on the same team, 100% focused on Biden and beating him in November. So
No, you're not really. I gotta say, you're not. No. So none of the Christie voters, none of the Asa Hutchinson voters, none of the Haley voters. You just those people are just rhinos, right?
Just want to introduce to you for just a few seconds,
Okay, I'm only going to do these names and then I'm going.
People that have been incredible on the campaign trail. They've been really good, and they'll have a lot to do with what's happening in the country over the next 4 years, and I'm sure long beyond that. Vivek, please come here. Vivek Ramaswamy.
He's pronouncing his name like the guy on SNL. Ramaswamy. He calls him Ramaswamy. Oh, fuck
Beyond
me.
that, Vivek, please come here. Vivek Ramaswamy.
Ramaswamy. Sounds painful, I gotta say. You should never ram your swami.
River.
It's not a good idea. There's
a malware called Q-Snatch.
You can't ram your swami. Vivek Ramaswamy.
Vivek, please come here. Vivek Ramaswamy.
Ramaswamy. All right, I'm leaving it at Ramaswamy, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday for the regular show, and I will download the rest of this, and I will just pull clips because we don't need to sit through the blather to get to the little pearls. I'll leave that up to me. I'll do the deep dive for you and try to keep notes of the moment. Ramaswamy. Very Ramaswamy. I don't even know what Ramaswamy is, but I wanted to try it, just like Iron Man. I think it's a sandwich. I'm not sure. I want to try some Ramaswamy. There's a place on the Lower East Side. They serve it. It's hot, it's cold, and I don't know. It's got some sauce on it that makes me nervous. Ramaswamy. It's I don't know if it's a noodle dish or if it's those lumpy things that are made out of corn. Ramaswamy. What an asshole. Vivek Ramaswamy, come on down. You're the next contestant on how do you pronounce your fucking name? It's the new game show hosted by Donald John Trump. Ramaswamy. Enjoy it. It's good. Try it with some tahini. Ramaswamy tahini. It's the best in the business. Oh, it's going to be a problem. I'm not going to be able to get through this. Like, subscribe. See you tomorrow. Or no, day after tomorrow. Yeah.